Hello everyone and welcome into historic Bosse Field as your Evansville Otters get ready to take on the first place Washington Wild Things. I'm Riley Angel alongside my partner Lucas Macklin. Lucas, we take a look at both of these teams. They're so close to each other in the standings, even though Washington in first and Evansville in third.
Yeah, and really it's been a story of two tales between the Otters at home and on the road. And on the home, they've looked really great. They're 4-1 in series at home, but on the road, they haven't taken a series yet. They're 1-8 on the road, but now they take on the division-leading Washington Wild Things, and it's going to be really important to go out there and try to take this first game and really cut into that division lead.
Yesterday, they were rained out, obviously. Washington, they've now been rained out 2 straight days. When you look back to the final game of their homestand, which was postponed against Joliet, and then yesterday, this is their first game in 3 full days, which in the middle of a baseball season isn't necessarily something you want for a pro team. Do you think that will have any effect on this one, or do you think they're going to come out here and play just as well as they normally would?
I mean, I definitely can kind of throw you off your rhythm, but getting those days off can also be helpful when it comes to getting rest and resting up your guys and being ready. And it's going to be interesting to see, of course, but I think it's going to be one of those things where you're still going to come out and be ready to play. And both these teams obviously wanted to play yesterday. The weather was not allowing it to, but all you can do is look forward and be ready to play today.
Let's talk a little bit about Ellis Schwartz. He had a great Otters debut. He went 2 for 3. He drove into. He looked really good at the top of the lineup. He's back in the leadoff spot here tonight.
Yeah, just did a great job at getting on base and taking good at-bats. Obviously was able to get a walk and score a run and get a couple of hits as well as a couple of RBIs. So it's great to see him get that start, and hopefully he can kind of keep it up as he's back at the top of the lineup.
Braden Scott back on the mound here tonight. Scott, past couple of outings hasn't been, what he has necessarily expected of himself. We take a look. He gave up 5 against Schaumburg, then 7 against Florence. That Florence one, though, gutted it out into the 6th inning, and it ultimately completed the 6th inning, and against Schaumburg just went 5, giving up those 5 runs. Hopefully here today he can get back to his normal self of what we expect to see from him, which is just blanking the opponents.
Yeah, I mean, like I said, it was a tough matchup against Schaumburg, and ended up giving up 5 in a solid performance that allowed the Otters to end up winning that game. Even in the game against Florence, obviously gave up 7, but went through 6 innings, allowed the Otters to stay close. They ended up winning that game as well. They're 3-1 in his starts, so he's a guy that you love to have out there, and even though it's been a little bit, a couple of rough performances, he's one of the main arms in this team for a reason, and you expect him to be able to go out there and perform just like he does as always.
Another guy that has been red hot, well, 2 really, Keenan Taylor, Graham Brown. In the middle of this order, Brown batting 2nd, Taylor batting 5th. Both of them up and over the 330 batting average mark. Keenan Taylor batting 343, a 989 OPS. Just those 2 guys leading the way of this offense. It seems like when they go well, the entire team goes well.
Yeah, they've really been turning it on, and another name that's been turning it on a lot is LJ Jones, hitting the ball hard a lot, up over 300 average, a 377 OBP. He got his 4th double of the season in his last game. So those 3 players, really near the top of the lineup have been huge for this team, and top to bottom, this lineup has looked really good, and it's going to be a new challenge. They haven't faced a lot of lefties this year, but they've played so well, and they've kept this team, allowed this team to stay in it, even if there has been some struggles from the pitching. And the pitching we saw just on Wednesday was fantastic. Only gave up 1 run, so hopefully we can see more of that today from the pitching and obviously from the offense.
Thank you so much for listening to the Papa John's pregame show. Papa John's is the official sponsor of the Otters pregame and postgame shows, available every game night, 20 minutes before and 10 minutes after each Otters game on the Otters Digital Network, the home team network, and now on 96.9 WYIR. When we come back, we'll look over the starting lineups, and we'll talk a little bit more about each starting pitcher. You're listening on the Otters Digital Network and on 96.9 WYIR.
Maintaining our independence becomes more and more vital as we age. Swerka and more can help you navigate this important journey by answering your questions and connecting you to free and unbiased community resources and support services. If you are seeking advice for yourself or a loved one, let Swerka be your first call. More information available at swerka.org or by calling 812-464-7800. Originally opening in 2004, Jacobs Village has been a home for adults with disabilities, giving these great residents a wonderful opportunity to live life just like you and me. Jacobs Village mission is to continue building a safe, walkable neighborhood community where people with disabilities and older adults can find meaningful relationships, affordable and accessible housing, and activities to keep their bodies and minds engaged. We can't wait to have Jacobs Village at the ballpark on July 3rd for our annual Red, White, and Blue Night. More information on this great community partner is available at jacobsvillage.org. For the last 5 years, the Evansville African American Museum and the Evansville Otters have partnered together to offer tickets at no cost for the whole family for the Juneteenth Negro Leagues Baseball Tribute. All are invited to celebrate Juneteenth with us on June 19th for the annual Salute to the Negro Leagues game. Pre-game activities start at 4:30 with first pitch scheduled for 5:05. For information on these tickets, fans can stop by the Evansville African American Museum at 579 Sandra Matthews Way in Evansville or any local Evansville Vanderburgh Public Library.
Hello, everyone, and welcome back to the Papa John's pregame show. Papa John's is the official sponsor of the Otters pregame and postgame shows, available every game night, 20 minutes before and 10 minutes after each Otters game on the Otters Digital Network, the Home Team Network, and now on 96.9 WYIR. I'm Riley Angel alongside Lucas Macklin here at historic Bosse Field. Thank you so much for joining us. So happy you're able to join us here on the Otters Digital Network. Coverage on the Home Team Network starting in just moments here from historic Bosse Field. Welcome into the Papa John's pregame show. Papa John's, the official sponsor of the Otters pregame and postgame shows, available every game night, 20 minutes before and 10 minutes after each Otters game on the Otters Digital Network, the Home Team Network, and now on 96.9 WYIR. I'm Riley Angel alongside Lucas Macklin. Thank you so much for joining us here at historic Bosse Field. Let's take first a look at each of these starting lineups. Lucas, this Evansville team, they've done a good job offensively. Washington in first place, obviously looking to come in here and shut down Evansville.
Yeah, and it's a huge opportunity. We saw Evansville a couple weeks ago go up against Lake Erie when they were still in first place. They took both of those games, obviously the third game being suspended. Now they're going to get two opportunities here against Washington to cut into that division lead. They're sitting really close right now. That whole division's really close all around it. So it's going to be exciting to see what the Otters can do against this tough opponent. But Washington obviously looking to try to extend their lead in the division, not only over Evansville, but obviously also over Lake Erie as well. And it's going to be a really fun couple of games, with obviously yesterday's game being rained out and pushed to the next series they play. So it's just a couple of games, one today and one tomorrow.
Take a look at now each of these starting lineup, starting with the Washington Wild Things. Leading off, the center fielder Jake DeLeo, followed by Tommy Caulfield, the third baseman, batting second. Batting third, DH Tyreek Reed. Andrew Check is at first base. He's cleaning it up. Wagner Lagrange, he is in left field, batting fifth. Batting sixth, Jeff LaCourie. He's the right fielder. The shortstop, Ethan Wilder, batting seventh, followed by Brett Roberts, the second baseman, and rounding out, Jamer Hernandez, and catching. For Evansville, it'll be Ellis Schwartz to lead it off. He's in right field tonight, followed by the best Evansville Otters hitter this year, Graham Brown. He's in center. Then Paven Parks at shortstop instead of his usual third base here tonight. Cleaning it up, L.J. Jones still, he's at first. Keenan Taylor in left field batting fifth. DHing Logan Brown, the lefty. Then at third base, Raymond Gill batting seventh. Batting eighth, the catcher Justin Felix, and rounding it out, Alay Camus at second base. Braden Scott starting for Evansville. Marlon Perez for Washington. Marlon Perez has had a really good year so far this season. We take a look at his last time out against that very good Schaumburg team. He went 7 innings, only allowing 2 runs in a Washington win.
Yeah, and he's a guy who, in his career, played a little bit for the Nationals organization, only had 1 start while he was with them. Now into this role with the Washington Wild Things, he started all 4 of these games now, making his 5th start. So he stepped into a new role, and it was a little bit shaky early, but as you mentioned, a quality start against Schaumburg. He's really starting to kind of find his rhythm. The most runs he's given up in a start is 3, so it's going to be interesting to see how the Otters attack him here today.
We talked a little bit about him before, but the left-hander Braden Scott getting the ball for Andy McCauley here tonight. Braden Scott, this is his 4th season as an Evansville Otter, and so far it's been a shaky start after a really good opening performance. Tonight looks to come in here against Washington and prove why he is the Otters ace.
Yeah, and obviously the outing against Florence in his last one was not what you wanted to see, and really the last couple have been struggles, but he's done a good enough job to keep the Otters in it. They're 3-1 in those starts. So, and even the game that he pitched against Gateway, they were in a spot to win before giving up that run in the last couple of innings. So really he's done a good job overall, and you would expect him to kind of start to find his rhythm and get into rhythm, and you really hope he kind of gets into the right mindset today as he tries to get the Otters started off right against this tough opponent in Washington.
We take a look at the standings in the Central Division. Washington at 13-10. They are in first place, followed by Lake Erie at 12-11, just 1 game back. Evansville 10-13, 3 games back, and then in last place is Florence. They're 9-13, 3.5 games back. Evansville just 3 games back. 2 wins in a row here this weekend means they're just 1 game back of this Washington team. And then you go into Lake Erie, who is currently in second place. Who knows what can happen just a couple of days from now.
Yeah, and Lake Erie's really not been playing super well. It really started against the Otters, lost a couple against them, and they're 3-7 in their last 10. They lost last night, so like I said, they've really struggled over these last couple of weeks. So now you have an opportunity to go up against Washington, hopefully get a couple of wins, and then go into Lake Erie, who's been struggling, and try to get right on the road. This team has not been playing well on the road, but they can play well. It's just a matter of getting into it, and it'll be a good test against Lake Erie in this next weekday series.
Starting lineups being announced. We'll give you Zane Clodfelter for that one, followed by our national anthem.
Batting third, the shortstop, number 11, Nathan Parks, his baseball buddy, Aiden. Batting fourth, the first baseman, number 20, L.J. Jones, his baseball buddies, Eli. Batting fifth, the left fielder, number 12, Keenan Taylor, his baseball buddies, Isaac. Batting sixth, the designated hitter, number 28, Logan Brown. Batting seventh, the third baseman, number 10, Raymond Gill. His baseball buddy is Owen. Batting eighth and catching, number 5, Justin Felix. His baseball buddies, Cruz and Finney. Batting ninth, the second baseman, number 1, Alay Camus. His baseball buddies, Jensen. Pitching for the Evansville Otters, left-handed pitcher, Braden Scott, joined by his baseball buddy, Zarek. Ladies and gentlemen, at this time, would you please rise and remove your caps as we honor America's freedom, those who now protect it, and pay tribute to those who have made the ultimate sacrifice with the singing of our national anthem, this evening performed by the Evansville Children's Choir. Speed Ball is delivered to you by Papa John's. Better ingredients, better pizza, Papa John's.
Back here at historic Bossy Field, Braden Scott, the left-handed ace of this Evansville Otters staff, taking the mound for his warm-up pitches to his partner behind the plate, Justin Felix. That pitcher-catcher battery is sponsored by The Answer Auto Repair East. Find your battery needs at The Answer Auto Repair East, located at 2319 North Green River Road, or call at 812-475-9000. Also, fans of the Home Team Network is the exclusive home of every Frontier League game this year. Check out Home Team Network to sign up today and get a front row seat to every Otters game in 2025. I'm Riley Angel alongside my partner Lucas Macklin. Lucas on the bump. Braden Scott, left-handed pitcher. Hopefully today he can come in here and show why he is trusted at the top of this rotation.
Yeah, and it's really going to come down to trying to just get into this game and try to shut them down early. There's a lot of really good hitters in this lineup. They do a great job at getting on base, and they've been really good as of late. They've been the hottest team in the division so far, so it's going to be tough. You have some great left-handed batters in this lineup. It's going to be really interesting to see what he does against those, and then obviously against the right-handed batters as well. It's going to be a fun matchup between this really good Washington Wild Things offense and this really good pitcher in Braden Scott that we've seen do so many great things over his career with the Otters.
Some rain scared us earlier in the day. Still overcast, but we are going to get this one in here this evening. Thank you so much for spending your Saturday night with Lucas and I here at historic Bossy Field as Jake DeLeo stands in.
Only his second game with Washington so far and made a really good first impression in his first appearance.
And tonight's first pitch delivered. In there for a strike. 74 degrees our first pitch temp.
It is cloudy.
Overcast skies. Slight wind in from right center, but nothing that's going to keep anything in the park. The 0-1 swung on and missed, 0-2.
His first appearance, he went 1 for 2 and got hit by a pitch. So very similar to what we kind of saw from Ellis Schwartz in his first appearance, coming in and kind of being that leadoff bat for this Washington team.
DeLeo, a right-handed batter. Closed stance for him. The 0-2. Called strike 3, fastball up and away. Our first German-American bank strikeout. Now Tommy Caulfield will stand in. Caulfield, the third baseman for this Washington team after this first pitch as the left-hander stands in. We'll take a look at the defense for Evansville here tonight. As Scott looks in, begins the wind and fires. Checked his swing, didn't fall in there for a ball, 1-0. In the outfield, Keenan Taylor in left, Graham Brown in center, Ellis Schwartz in right field. The left side of the infield is Gill at third, Pavin Parks at short, as the 1-0 pitch in from Scott is swung on and fouled back, 1-1. On the right side, Alay Camus at second, L.J. Jones at first, and Justin Felix, the battery mate for Braden Scott this evening. A ball, a strike, and out. Top one, no score, the pitch. Swung on and missed way out in front of the off speed, 1-2. Rain now beginning to fall here at Bossy Field. Boy, oh boy, we thought we dodged it.
You can only hope for so much, and hopefully it doesn't come down too hard or for too long, and we can get this full game in. Both these teams obviously don't want to try to push in another game later.
The 1-2 in the dirt, 2-2. Take a look at the radar as I do have it up because I had to check the game time temp. We'll see what it says. Looks like just something passing through. Hopefully it doesn't last for too long as the 2-2 pitch up high. Lost the grip of that one, did Scott, 3-2. Boy, and it's really starting to come down now. Tarp crew getting ready. 3-2. Swung on and missed, strike 3. Who cares about the rain? Second strikeout for Braden Scott.
That is a huge start here for Braden Scott, just trying to get off on the right foot. Back-to-back strikeouts is a great way to do it.
Now Tyreek Reed. He's had himself a great year. 5 homers, 26 RBI. 976 his OPS. Lucas, you'll like this. He's drawn 18 walks as well on the year. First pitch to him. High, 1-0.
It's always great to have a guy who can see the plate super well, just because not only does it help you draw walks, but also you're able to wait for your pitch and make hard contact whenever you want to go after one.
The 1-0 pitch. Just missed on the inner half. It's going to be 2-0. Oh boy, the Midwest never disappoints, does it? 2-0 offering from Braden Scott. Swung on and missed. Boy, he's got that spinning stuff working right now. 2-1. Infield straight up, same with the outfield. Reed, right-handed bat, stands in. Awaits the 2-1. Outside, 3-1. That one way up and away. Scott will ask for a new baseball. They'll probably be interchanging those quite a bit while this rain falls. Sometimes some moisture on a baseball can help you get a grip on it, as the 3-1 pitch catches the inner half for a strike, 3-2. But when it's raining cats and dogs, that's going to make it slippier more than grippier. Looks like we have an equipment malfunction from Reed, as he was allotted time to fix his batting glove. He had already used his time earlier in the at-bat, so that one the umpire giving it to him to restrap. Here's the payoff pitch with 2 away in the top of the first. Swung on and missed, strike 3. Braden Scott strikes out the side in the first inning. We go to the bottom half. No score here on the Otters Digital Network and 96.9 WYIR.
Right now in Vanderburgh County, over 800 children are in the child welfare system waiting for someone to be their voice, and you could be that voice by becoming a court-appointed special advocate, a CASA volunteer. Donating just a few hours a month of your time can change a child's life forever. Vanderburgh County CASA invites you to join them. Stand up, speak out, be for the child, be a CASA. For more information, visit vandcasa.com. That's VAND-CASA.com. Ballet Indiana is made up of local ballet professionals, dedicated parents, and community members in order to provide unique and life-enriching experiences for hundreds of young dancers, while carrying out their mission to inspire a lifelong appreciation for dance for both our dancers and the Evansville community. More information on Ballet Indiana and information about their upcoming performances is available at balletindiana.org.
Back here at historic Bossy Field as Marlon Perez steps on the bump. No, he's not from Florida. Marlon Perez, the left-handed pitcher. Evansville hasn't seen a ton of lefties this year, but we'll see how he does. But Perez, for this Washington team, has been one of their best arcs.
Yeah, and after going only 4 innings in his first appearance, he only gave up 2 runs. He only pitched 57 pitches. A first start where you kind of let him get into it. He's gone over 80 pitches in each of his next 3. And again, most runs he's given up in an appearance has been 3, but he's consistently given up runs in each of his appearances. But in his last one, a complete game against Schaumburg in the doubleheader, went 7 innings, gave up 2 runs, and allowed Washington to get the win there. So he's starting to find his best stuff, and it's going to be tough for the Otters to try to get to him. But like I said, this team's played really well, and they've really played some really, really good offense at home.
It'll be Ellis Schwartz to begin things for Evansville. The left-handed bat stands in the first pitch. Up and in for a ball, 1-0. For now, it seems the rain has subsided a bit. Still a bit of a sprinkle. 1-0 pitch. High, 2-0. Corners playing in on Ellis Schwartz. Outfield and middle infield straight up. Perez kicks and fires. Swung on a jam shot down the first baseline and fouled. 2-1. Perez, a guy that will work out of the stretch exclusively. No windup or abbreviated windup for him. Just going to stick with one motion. Looks in and sets. 2-1. Swung on and missed. 2-2. Schwartz, such good plate appearances in his first game. Again, he took the roster spot of one Ty Crittenberger as the 2-2, down and away, 3-2. So that was a corresponding roster move, bringing Ellis in and Crittenberger released. 3-2 pitch. Swung on, popped up foul, and that's our first overhead foul ball brought to you by Heads Construction. Choose the best, never regret it. Schwartz takes his time, trying to get this offense started off the right way, the payoff. Swung on, bounced foul towards Billy Easley over at first. So good at bat here. Schwartz stands in on the left side. Gray batting gloves, the 3-2. Swung on, flare into center. Under it, DeLeo. Never mind, it's the right fielder Lagrange who makes the catch. For out number 1.
Really good first at bat to work out that count. Unfortunately, just ended up with a fly out. But like I said, a long at bat there is always good to start this game and try to just make this pitcher throw as many pitches as possible, especially because he's been throwing the ball so well.
Here's Graham Brown. Right-handed batter, has been so good. A homer the last time out for Evansville. A long one off the bat over the left field wall. As the first pitch to the Otter center fielder from Perez as he sets. He kicks and he fires. In there for a strike, 0-1. Brown just carries himself with such confidence at the dish as the 0-1. Swung on, line drive, base hit left field. Cut off by the left fielder Lagrange, and when you hit that like that, why not bring confidence to the plate? Graham Brown, his first knock here in this first inning.
Batting third, the shortstop, number 11.
Now it's Pavin Parks. Getting the nod at shortstop today is Parks. He's been a guy that has played primarily third base this year. As the left-handed hitter awaits the pitch from the lefty in Perez. Fires. Outside for a ball, 1-0. Pavin, this will be his 4th start at shortstop this season compared to 15 at third.
I say Pavin was the main shortstop whenever he came in last year. Played a lot of shortstop, but made the move to third this year, especially because Camus has played such a good shortstop position.
2-0 now as that spinner was a left down and away.
And we'll see how the lefties attack Perez. Against the lefties, Perez has been absolutely amazing. A 125 average against, a 222 on base against, compared to when he's going up against righties, a 345 average against and a 375 on base against.
2-0. Now 3-0. And with that, Andy has made the adjustment. Only 4 lefties in the lineup here tonight compared to the 6 we saw the last outing against Mississippi. 3-0 pitch. High, ball 4. So a 4-pitch walk worked by Pavin Parks, and now Graham Brown moves 90 feet up to second, and Parks over at first.
You have to imagine if JT Benson was healthy, he would have slotted in somewhere in this lineup as well. So without him likely being available quite yet, it is 4 lefties in this lineup. But again, guys that you expect a lot of and have shown to take good at-bats, as Pavin shows right there, draws a walk against Perez.
L.J. Jones awaits the first pitch. Setting is Perez on the bump. Looks back towards second and fires. Inside for a strike. 0-1. Just caught the inner edge on that slow breaker.
I think LJ maybe thought it was going to cut in more than it did. Also, he plays pretty far in on that plate.
0-1. Swung on. Jam shot down the right field line. Coming in on it is LaCour, and it drops down in fair territory. They're going to hold Graham Brown at third. Station to station we go. Bases loaded for Evansville.
And now it's time to step up and get a big hit here. Like we've said, not played well with the bases loaded, but match that against a guy who's played so well with runners on base and Keenan Taylor. Something's got to break here.
Taylor, 343 the average, 989 the OPS coming into today. 16 ribbies, 3 homers. Right-handed hitter playing left field tonight, the first pitch. In there for a strike. Boy, that curve has been working for Perez early in this one. Locating it really well inside to right-handed hitters. The 0-1. That one just finds it at the knees. Count 0-2.
Yeah, he'll have to work here. We mentioned Keenan Taylor, a 341 average with runners on base. He's been one of the best hitters with runners on base here. Now he's got a big opportunity to try to do something.
Behind in the count 0-2. The pitch. Swung on, line drive, caught by the third baseman, thrown to second base to Roberts, the second baseman, cuts off Pavin Parks. So an unlucky double play to end the inning. And once again, the Otters can't come through with bases juiced. We go to the second, no score. You're listening on the Otters Digital Network and on 96.9 WYIR.
Maintaining our independence becomes more and more vital as we age. Swerka and more can help you navigate this important journey by answering your questions and connecting you to free and unbiased community resources and support services. If you are seeking advice for yourself or a loved one, let Swerka be your first call. More information available at swerka.org or by calling 812-464-7800. Originally opening in 2004, Jacobs Village has been a home for adults with disabilities, giving these great residents a wonderful opportunity to live life just like you and me. Jacobs Village mission is to continue building a safe, walkable neighborhood community where people with disabilities and older adults can find meaningful relationships, affordable and accessible housing, and activities to keep their bodies and minds engaged. We can't wait to have Jacobs Village at the ballpark on July 3rd for our annual Red, White, and Blue Night. More information on this great community partner is available at jacobsvillage.org.
Braden Scott back out to pitch here in this second inning. Struck out the side in the first. We'll see how he does against the middle, which is Check, Lagrange, and LaCour. 2 of which are left-handed hitters against the left-handed pitcher in Braden Scott.
And Andrew Check, the franchise leader in home runs for the Washington Wild Things, just got that mark this year. So never going to be an easy out with him. Obviously, him leading it off in this inning. So we'll see what Braden Scott can do against this 4, 5, and 6 part of the lineup.
Andrew Check, a big dude. Big, tall first baseman, 6 feet 6 inches tall, 260. The left-handed batter stands in. A towering presence in the box, the first pitch. In there for a strike, 0-1. Center cut on the fastball. Braden Scott just getting me over pitch there. The 0-1 from Scott as he steps back, kicks, and fires. Swung on and missed, 0-2.
Scott struck out the first 3 batters, and now Check, a guy who hits a lot of home runs, already 6 on the year, but also has 32 strikeouts. Kind of one of those guys who talk about a 3-outcome type player. Very much sticks to that with 32 strikeouts and 12 walks. Now he's got to fight down 0-2.
The pitch. Outside, count 1-2. His average definitely speaks to that as well. 209, 298 the on base. The 1-2. Swung on, fouled off his own foot, and will do it again.
Yeah, even with that, though, still a .451 slugging percentage. He has 19 hits on the year. 10 of them have gone for extra base hits.
Oof. Infield playing him to pull. This is the first time, I think, this year that we've seen shortstop for Evansville playing beyond the second base bag. The 1-2. Swung on, dribbler to third. Gill fields, throws to first in time by about half a step for the first out.
And he put it to that left side, but wasn't hit hard enough to get past Gill over at third, playing by himself on the left side of the field. And it was a bang-bang play at first, but still got the out, and now a quick out as you try to attack the next guy here.
Wagner Lagrange now batting. See how he does. First pitch to him. High, it's 1-0. He kind of leans back in that batter's box and open stance. Big stretching lean back right before the pitch is delivered. The 1-0 is low, 2-0. 713 his OPS, 2 homers, 10 ribbies. The 2-0 pitch from Scott. Swung on and missed, 2-1. Real good crowd on hand here this Saturday night. Taking it all in. The 2-1. Swung on and missed, 2-2. Scott seems to have that tight breaking ball working through these first 2 innings. Count evened at 2 apiece. Scott looks in, steps back, kicks, fires. Low, 3-2. Sky's still a light gray. It hasn't gotten to a dark gray yet, which is good. 3-2 pitch. Swung on, shot the opposite way, backhanded by Jones, kicked off the heel, dives towards first, made the play. Talk about an unconventional 3 unassisted, but what works, works, and there's 2 gone.
Yeah, it looked like he just maybe nicked his glove, but it went off his foot and bounced up and stayed in front of him. He had to go and find it and then bring it in, dove for first, and got there just in time. Couple of close outs, but outs nonetheless for the Otters here.
Now Jeff LaCory. He might be the best all-around hitter on this team this year, and he's batting 6th. The first pitch inside, got him on the elbow. So a hit by pitch, and Jeff LaCory will head to first. He is seemingly in some pain as that one hit him right on the funny bone. He'll take his time and walk down the first baseline. Seems to be okay, so he'll step on the first base pillow. And it'll be Ethan Wilder. First base runner for Washington. So Ethan Wilder stands in, now face Braden Scott. And the first pitch to him. Swung on, line drive center field. Back on it, Graham Brown, fairly deep, and makes the catch before he gets to the warning track. So Braden Scott, a pretty good first 2 innings for him. We go to the bottom of the second, no score. You're listening on the Otters Digital Network at 96.9 WYIR.
For the last 5 years, the Evansville African American Museum and the Evansville Otters have partnered together to offer tickets at no cost for the whole family for the Juneteenth Negro Leagues Baseball Tribute. All are invited to celebrate Juneteenth with us on June 19th for the annual Salute to the Negro Leagues game. Pre-game activities start at 4:30 with first pitch scheduled for 5:05. For information on these tickets, fans can stop by the Evansville African American Museum at 579 Sandra Matthews Way in Evansville, or any local Evansville-Vanderburgh public library. Right now in Vanderburgh County, over 800 children are in the child welfare system waiting for someone to be their voice, and you could be that voice by becoming a court-appointed special advocate, a CASA volunteer. Donating just a few hours a month of your time can change a child's life forever. Vanderburgh County CASA invites you to join them. Stand up, speak out, be for the child, be a CASA. For more information, visit vandcasa.com. That's VAND CASA.com.
Time for the bottom half of the second. It'll be Logan Brown, Raymond Gill, Justin Felix, the 3-2 up. Evansville threatened mightily in that first inning, but couldn't come through after stranding the bases loaded on a line-out double play by Keenan Taylor. We'll see if the bottom half of this order can get it done. Logan Brown DHing tonight. He has played the field in each of his first couple of games with Evansville. First time as the DH for this club, here this season at least. The left-handed hitter, we'll see how he fares. Boy, this can't be a fun at bat. Lefty v. lefty, no batting gloves, no pine tar, no bat grip.
Especially a guy who does so well against the lefties.
A braver man than I.
One of the things that is noticeable about Marlon Perez's season is that his whip is up from last year when he had a 5.06 ERA. His hits per 9 are up. His walks per 9 are up.
First pitch in there for a strike, 0-1.
But yet he has a 3.74 ERA, showing that he's done a good job working around walks and hits. And we saw it in the first inning. Gave up a couple of hits and a walk.
That one swung on and fouled back, 0-2.
And then got out of it with that double play line out from Keenan Taylor.
So maybe a bit of ball and play luck from him. It's time called by Brown. So one thing about surface level pitching statistics is sometimes they can look so good, but you look at the underlying numbers and you wonder if it's luck or if this guy just has a knack for getting out of tough situations. The 0-2. Swung on and missed, strike 3. First strikeout for Marlon Perez. And now brings up Raymond Gill. Boy, oh boy, since that first Mississippi series, had struggled a bit, finally broke out of it with a couple of hits against Florence, and see how he does here in the lineup once again. Perez sets and fires. Swung on, fouled right back, 0-1. A guy like Gill, we saw it at the beginning of the year, has the capability to be a really good bat for this Evansville team. Perez looks in, sets hands abdomen high, and fires the 0-1. Bins in there for a strike, 1-1. Plays a good third base as well, which is something that the Otters would like to have over there. The 0-2. Swung on and missed, strike 3. 6 pitches and 2 strikeouts for Marlon Perez to begin this second inning. Brings up Justin Felix. He has a homer, 7 RBIs. He's drawn 11 walks this year. Right-handed batter awaits the first pitch from Perez. Here it is. Bender catches the top of the zone for a strike, count 0-1. A looping breaking ball, I think, is the best way to describe it from Perez. Comes in so slow, the 0-1. Then he breaks out that fastball as it swung on and missed, 0-2. From 71 to 88. Talk about an adjustment.
The change of velocity is always so hard to account for when it's that steep of a drop-off from your fastball to an off-speed pitch.
He's looking to strike out the side on 9 pitches. 1 strike away from doing it. The pitch. Called Oh, ho, 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 ho. Boy, was that close. Maybe a hair outside, but the entire infield was on their way back to the Washington dugout. Reason I thought it was strike three is home plate umpire Jordan Alfonso postured up like he was about to call it a strike. 1-2. Low, 2-2.
It looks like maybe he was initially going to, then second-guessed himself and called it a ball. Like you said, it was just outside, so it wasn't a bad call per se. It was just a little bit of a switcheroo on his posture change-up.
2-2, bang to third, fair ball. Dropped by Caulfield, and that's going to be an infield single. Taking the round hard at first is Felix, but he wisely retreats back to the bag.
That was going to be a really tough play from Caulfield. He was drug all the way into foul territory. It was going to be a long throw even further than across the diamond to make that play. It would have been almost impossible to make that play, but dropped it anyways, and it was easily a knock for Justin Felix there.
Now Alay Camus. He's hit the ball so hard, it seems, the past couple of days. The first pitch to him outside for a strike. 0-1. Well, but we'll see how he fares here against Perez. Lefty-lefty, the 0-1. Swung on, popped up, foul, count 0-2. Overhead foul ball brought to you by Heads Construction. Choose the best, never regret it. Camus sitting so close to that plate. That front door breaking ball from Perez just so hard to stay on top of. The next pitch is swung on in a pop-up on the infield. Caulfield under it and makes the catch for the third out. So Evansville strands another base runner. That one on one hit, but they cannot score. We go to the top of the third. No score here on 96.9 WYAR on the Otters Digital Network.
Ballet Indiana is made up of local ballet professionals, dedicated parents, and community members in order to provide unique and life-enriching experiences for hundreds of young dancers, while carrying out their mission to inspire a lifelong appreciation for dance for both our dancers and the Evansville community. More information on Ballet Indiana and information about their upcoming performances is available at balletindiana.org. Maintaining our independence becomes more and more vital as we age. Swerka and more can help you navigate this important journey by answering your questions and connecting you to free and unbiased community resources and support services. If you are seeking advice for yourself or a loved one, let Swerka be your first call. More information available at swerka.org or by calling 812-464-7800.
Time for the top half of the third. Braden Scott right back out there. Just worked a very clean first two innings other than that hit by pitch, the only blemish. 3 strikeouts, some weak contact. See how he does here against 8, 9, and 1.
Yeah, you kind of just want him to keep trying to go quick here and get those bats back out there. They've had traffic on both innings, and although Perez looked a lot better in that second inning, he still did give up a hit to Justin Felix. So go quickly here and try to get your team back out there. And you got 8, 9, 1. If you can go 1, 2, 3 here, it sets you up really well for the bottom half of the third.
Saturday night baseball here in Evansville, Indiana. Again, mentioned it in the first inning. Good crowd on hand here for this one that has been threatened with rain all day. Usually you would expect an attendance drop, but no. First pitch to Brett Roberts is inside for a ball, 1-0. Roberts, the second baseman for this Washington team, has 14 RBI this year as the 1-0. Swung on, popped up overhead. That overhead foul ball brought to you by Heads Construction. Choose the best, never regret it.
Choose the best, never regret it.
258 the average, 689 the OPS. The 1-1 pitch is high, 2-1. With all-star voting in the major leagues underway, OPS becoming more and more of a mainstream stat as the 2-1 pitch. Swung on, hit the opposite way, and foul down the right field line, 2-2. As now one of the 4 main stats that they show in the all-star voting ballots is OPS.
Yeah, and it's one of those that's a little bit tough because someone's 750 can be different from someone else's 750 because it's a different stat between slugging and on-base percentage because they're on different levels of numbers. Slugging is out of 4,000 while on-base is out of 1,000. So it can be tough to kind of read it sometimes, but it is kind of like a good base stat to kind of get your bearings on everything.
2-2 inside, 3-2. Yeah, it's hard to really know unless you dive deeper into both of the individual statistics. 3-2 here from Scott is fouled back. Because Jaron Duran and, say, Salvador Perez, right? Very similar OPS numbers, but they get those OPS numbers in very different ways.
If you say so. At least when it comes to them having similar OPS numbers. I have no idea.
The 3-2. Swung on, fouled back, count stays. I think I was just using that as an example, just two different types of ball players.
Choose the best, never regret it.
The 3-2 pitch from Braden Scott. Never mind, time called. Gives us more time to talk about this. So here we go. We got a good one. Jacob Wilson, athletic shortstop, very, very good this year, but him and Kyle Schwarber, nearly identical OPS, but obviously getting them in very different ways as the 3-2. Inside, ball 4, and that's going to be a leadoff walk to Brett Roberts.
And that's not what you want to see there from Braden Scott. You've seen in a couple of these starts he's had trouble with command, and sometimes it only happens to be in one inning, and you don't want him to kind of lose it now, especially as they get to the top of the lineup.
Jamer Hernandez, the Wild Things backstop, steps in. The first pitch in there for a strike, 0-1. Good to see Braden Scott battling right back into the zone after that leadoff walk to Roberts, even though it was a tough at-bat drawn by Roberts. The 0-1 pitch is left outside for a ball, 1-1.
Just missed getting the back door on that off-speed pitch. Just a bit outside.
Scott out of the stretch, looks towards first at Roberts. Kicks and fires. Swung on, bounced softly to third, but sneaks through the left side of the infield. So that's going to be the first hit for Washington. And now 2 runners are on base for the top of the order. Jake DeLeo stands in. So see if the second time through, if the Wild Things make an adjustment, can get to Scott. Hopefully not, for our sake. Scott trying to work through some early trouble. Top 3, no scorer here at Bosse Field. Wild Things in town against Evansville. First pitch here to Jake DeLeo. Bullseye, 0-1. Windows liked that. No balls, 1 strike, no outs. The pitch. Swung on and missed. 0-2, way out in front of that slow breaker.
We talked about how Perez was at 88 to 71. That one at 72 from Braden Scott's typical around 88, 89. So a huge change in velocity there, and you can tell DeLeo was way out in front of it.
Looking in as Scott DeFelix sets. Hands belt high. Looks back towards second a couple of times. Out of the stretch. Kicks. Fires. Swung on. Bounced softly. Foul third baseline. Will do it again at 0-2. The flag is limp out in center. So little to no wind tonight, which is a far cry to what we saw against Mississippi as the 0-2. Swung on and missed. Strike 3.
German-American Bank.
Fourth German-American Bank strikeout for Braden Scott.
Third baseman.
It's a great find right there. He blew it by him at 89 after throwing back-to-back off-speed pitches. You love to see that from Braden Scott, a huge first out, and now you go and get this guy here who, again, you also struck out in the first inning.
That's Tommy Caulfield. Lefty v. lefty, the matchup. And the pitch. Swung on and missed, 0-1.
A couple of times now, Caulfield has swung through that off-speed bender that ends up outside the zone. Not really seeing it really well so far in these first couple of at-bats.
See if Scott goes back to the well. The 0-1. Swung on and missed, 0-2.
Very similar pitch. That one wasn't outside per se, but it was low. And now he's called timeout because that's a couple of times now, just in this at-bat alone, where he's just not seeing that ball the way he wants to.
Do you throw to him again?
I'm not a huge fan of throwing the same pitch 3 times in a row, but if it's outside the zone, especially the way it has been these first 2 pitches, there's not really much damage you can do with those pitches, so I wouldn't be against it here. But you got to make sure you can locate it.
The 0-2. Swung on and missed, strike 3. Fifth German-American Bank strikeout. Guess what? It was on the breaker.
Again, it was a pitch that was out of the zone. Even if he does make contact, very unlikely he does any damage with it. Now back-to-back big outs, and now you have a chance to get this guy here, who also struck out in the first inning, and get out of this inning without giving up any damage.
Reed stands in on the right side, DHing tonight for Washington. Runners on first and second, 2 away, top 3, no score. First pitch. Bullseye, breaker through the back door, 0-1.
He's really feeling that off-speed pitch right now. It's 4 straight times he's thrown it, and 4 straight times he's hit his spot.
Sun starting to peek out from behind these rain clouds. So a little bit of shadow as the 0-1 comes in. In there for a strike. Breaker once again from the back door, 0-2. Time called by Reed. Boy, he feels like he has him guessing up there right now.
It's that off-speed pitch. He has the feel for it right now, and he's really all his pitches he has the feel for. He's putting them in the spots he wants, and even the hit he did give up was fairly weak contact. So it's been a great start so far for Braden Scott. See if he can keep it going.
The 0-2. Swung on, flare into right. That's going to drop down for a base hit. They're going to send the runner in Roberts. Coming up, throwing is Schwartz, but it's cut off by Camus, and now they have the runner at second in a rundown. And they tag him for out number 3. The run does come across, though, but a crucial base running mistake by Jamer Hernandez. We go to the bottom of the third. 1-0 Washington on the Otters Digital Network and 96.9 WYIR.
Originally opening in 2004, Jacobs Village has been a home for adults with disabilities, giving these great residents a wonderful opportunity to live life just like you and me. Jacobs Village mission is to continue building a safe, walkable neighborhood community where people with disabilities and older adults can find meaningful relationships, affordable and accessible housing, and activities to keep their bodies and minds engaged. We can't wait to have Jacobs Village at the ballpark on July 3rd for our annual Red, White, and Blue Night. More information on this great community partner is available at jacobsvillage.org. For the last 5 years, the Evansville African American Museum and the Evansville Otters have partnered together to offer tickets at no cost for the whole family for the Juneteenth Negro Leagues Baseball Tribute. All are invited to celebrate Juneteenth with us on June 19th for the annual Salute to the Negro Leagues game. Pre-game activities start at 4:30 with first pitch scheduled for 5:05. For information on these tickets, fans can stop by the Evansville African American Museum at 579 Sandra Matthews Way in Evansville or any local Evansville Vanderburgh Public Library.
They've been in Evansville for a while.
Back here, bottom half of the third, here at Bosse Field, 1-0 Washington after scoring 1 in the top of the third, but a crucial base running mistake by Jamer Hernandez into the inning before any more damage could be done. It'll be the top of the order due up for Evansville against Perez. Schwartz, Brown, and Parks, the three who will come to the plate.
Yeah, Schwartz coming up to the plate. He was the guy out and right. It was kind of interesting. I think he thought the ball was going to come in faster, but because the ground is really wet out there, that ball kind of just died in front of him, so it took him longer to get the ball. But he did a smart job kind of waiting and saw that John Hernandez over a second had overcommit, so he just throws it into Camus, who just simple toss over to Paving Parks to get that third out. So a big out number 3. And even for Braden Scott, another one where 0-2 count, perfect placement on a 91-mile-per-hour fastball up and in, but Tyreek Reed just able to fight it off into right field. The guy who leads the team in total bases, showing why there, but now the Otters a chance to try to respond at the top of your lineup up.
Ellis Schwartz, the Edward Jones leadoff batter of the game, is 0 for 1 today. Flew out back in the first. Pitch to him. Squares around, pulls it back to take a ball, 1-0.
And now you're going to force the third baseman over there, Caulfield, to try to be a little bit more respective of the bunt ability now.
That one left outside. Perez working real fast on that one, 2-0. Sets, fires. Swung on, fouled off his own foot, 2-1. Perez, a guy that likes to get the rock and throw. Not a lot of standing around and waiting, even with the pitch clock. He's letting it go before the clock gets down to 8 seconds most of the time. The 2-1. Swung on, high fly ball down the right field line, turning, twisting, foul. 2-2.
Turned on that one and got good wood on it, but just out in front of it.
2 balls, 2 strikes, nobody out. The pitch. Just missed low. 3-2.
A tough take there for Schwartz. That's a pitch that just missed low. Again, one of those that's in the zone for 90% of its ball path.
The payoff, swung on, high fly ball to right, and pretty much the exact same result. Draws way foul, and will do it again. A couple of good swings from Schwartz just out in front of that center cut breaking ball. Perez sets, and the payoff pitch. Swung on, fouled back. Good battle. 3-2 still.
Second time this game, Schwartz has made Perez work on the mound. See if he can have a different outcome this time.
Perez disagrees once, now nods and sets. The payoff. It's going to be low, ball 4. So Ellis Schwartz works a leadoff walk. Good start for the Otters offense here in this third inning.
And this is why Andy McCauley, from the moment he was signed, placed him at the top of the lineup. The ability just to draw that walk on a couple pitches that were just outside the zone and just low, and to battle to draw that walk. And now you got Graham Brown to the plate with the runner on and a chance to try to get that run back.
Graham Brown awaits the first pitch from Perez, who just now sets, looks towards first, and fires. Taken on the inner half for a strike. It's 0-1.
Looks like Schwartz maybe wanted to go there, but needs to be able to read Perez's wind up to the plate.
The 0-1. That catches the corner. 0-2. You saw the reaction there from Graham Brown. Not too happy about it.
A little bit of slide step on that one for Perez, trying to get to the plate a lot quicker than maybe he typically would.
Decent lead over at first from Schwartz. Check is holding him on. The 0-2. Swung on, fouled back. Will do it again at that same count, 0-2. Brown, a bat that can seemingly do it all. 0-2 pitch. Up and away, 1-2.
That's a tough take for Graham Brown there. Just missing outside.
Schwartz looked at by Perez, the pitch. Swung on and missed, strike 3. Swung through the slider. Third strikeout for Perez here in this one.
The shortstop, number 11, Haven Parks.
So Paven Parks now stands in. He was cut off at second on that inning-ending double play in the first frame. He drew a walk, though, in that first inning to get himself on. Lefty v. lefty, the matchup. The first pitch. In there, 0-1. Seems like the spinning stuff for both pitchers tonight has been working. The feel for it seems to be there. 0-1 pitch. Swung on, major league pop-up on the infield. Caulfield under it, in the grass. Makes the catch near the third baseline. 2 away.
First baseman,
Maybe a reason for that great feel on that breaking ball is this humidity in the air didn't go away with that first spat of rain. So with that humidity, the stickiness, mix that with some sweat, maybe every once in a while a finger lick, and get a good grip on the baseball. First pitch here to L.J. Jones. Swung on, popped him up, first base side, check over, and looks at it as it falls onto the roof overhead. That overhead foul ball brought to you by Heads Construction. Choose the best, never regret it. Count 0-1. The pitch. In there for a strike, 0-2. Late call. So no balls, 2 strikes, 2 outs to L.J. Jones. Runner on first is Ellis Schwartz.
Wish a very happy birthday to Brandy Ray. On the count of 3, let's wish Brandy a big happy
Infield and
birthday.
outfield, straight up.
1, 2, 3. Happy birthday to Brandy Ray, a host parent for the Evansville Otters.
Now Jones steps back in. Perez looks in, nods, sets. Kicks and fires, runner goes, swung on, fouled back. We'll do it again at 0-2. Bottom of the third, 1-0 Washington. Here in Evansville, Indiana. Otters looking to get a game up on these Washington Wild Things. The 0-2 is made over to first, not nearly in time. Again, Washington 3 games up on Evansville in the standings. Washington in first, Evansville in third. A couple of wins here would put the Otters in great position as they travel up to Lake Erie on Monday and play on Tuesday. The 0-2. Swung on, line drive, base hit left center field. That's going to split the gap. Cut off by the left fielder Lagrange. They're going to send the runner home. Throw is away. Tie ball game at 1 apiece. RBI single for L.J. Jones as Schwartz goes from first to home.
There's that speed that why McCauley likes him in the top of the lineup from Schwartz. At the same time, that throw in got over the cutoff man. If it hits the cutoff, it's going to be a play at the plate, but instead misses the cutoff, and it's an easy run scored for Schwartz. So bit of a break there for the Otters, but the aggressive base running, forcing the mistake, all that much more important.
And this is interesting as J.J. Cruz is coming in to run for L.J. Jones.
Ladies and gentlemen, your attention please.
And it looked like he had a little hop out of the batter's box. And again, he only ended up at first. L.J. Jones, a guy who probably could have gotten to second, typically. I wasn't really watching him. Obviously, we were watching Schwartz.
Man. So now Keenan Taylor stands in. First pitch. In there for a strike. And with how this outfield already banged up with JT Benson, obviously first base has been a question all year. L.J. Jones now out, who's been one of your more productive hitters, just hurts the 0-1. Swung on, popped up foul, 0-2.
That overhead foul ball brought
Assuming they keep J.J. Cruz in there, I would assume they move Parks over to third, Camus to second, or Camus to short, Cruz to second, and then Gill over at first, who's played some first this year for the Otters as well.
The 0-2. Swung on, popped him up, and foul. We'll do it again at 0-2. Just such a tough break there. Man. No balls, 2 strikes, 2 outs. The pitch. Up and away for a ball, 1-2. Evansville did tie it up, though. It's 1 apiece here in this 3rd inning. 2 away as Evansville bats. Perez, the 1-2 to Keenan Taylor. Swung on, high fly ball. Deep left field, back, track, wall, see ya! Keenan Taylor with a line drive shot into left field. A 2-run home run, 3-1 Evansville.
We saw Perez hang a few of those off-speed pitches to Ellis Schwartz earlier. Schwartz got some good wood on it, but pulled it a little bit too much. But Keenan Taylor, who's done so well for the Otters, putting that ball over the fence, able to sit on it, get under it. 101 off the bat, a liner off that brick fence behind the wall, and a huge couple of runs for the Otters as they get their first lead of the night.
Logan Brown takes a breaking ball up and near the helmet, and it's 1-0.
Looked like it was just slipped or something on Perez's hands, only 83 miles per hour.
Boy, that homer put some life back in this place after L.J. Jones had to exit. Nice little jolt. Keenan Taylor just continues to impress. His 4th homer of the year. RBIs 17 and 18 on that. And once again, does it with 2 away. Now 11 2-out RBI on the year. The 1-0. Swung on, popped up, and foul, 1-1. Just can't say enough about Keenan Taylor.
Just a guy who started batting in the 9 hole whenever he had his opportunities, and then just kept taking advantage, and now he's up at the 5 hole, and another bomb there for him.
1-1 is low, 2-1. Logan Brown struck out in the 2nd inning. He is 0 for 1. The pitch. Swung on, fouled back, 2-2. At the beginning of this year, the Otters didn't hit a lot of homers. It seems like those bats have definitely come around as we've entered June. 2-2 pitch. Swung on, fouled back again. Good battle from Logan Brown. As once again we'll have a 2-2 offering from Perez. Deuces all over the place. 2 balls, 2 strikes, 2 outs. Perez, the pitch. Swung on and missed, strike 3. 4th strikeout for Perez, but not before 3 Otters come across, highlighted by the Keenan Taylor 2-run homer with 2 away. 3-1 Evansville here on 96.9 WYIR and the Otters Digital Network.
Right now in Vanderburgh County, over 800 children are in the child welfare system waiting for someone to be their voice, and you could be that voice by becoming a court-appointed special advocate, a CASA volunteer. Donating just a few hours a month of your time can change a child's life forever. Vanderburgh County CASA invites you to join them. Stand up, speak out, be for the child, be a CASA. For more information, visit vandcasa.com. That's VAND CASA.com. Ballet Indiana is made up of local ballet professionals, dedicated parents, and community members in order to provide unique and life-enriching experiences for hundreds of young dancers, while carrying out their mission to inspire a lifelong appreciation for dance for both our dancers and the Evansville community. More information on Ballet Indiana and information about their upcoming performances is available at balletindiana.org. Maintaining our independence becomes more and more vital as we age. Swerka and more can help you navigate this important journey by answering your questions and connecting you to free and unbiased community resources and support services. If you are seeking advice for yourself or a loved one, let Swerka be your first call. More information available at swerka.org or by calling 812-464-7800.
A slew of defensive changes. Lucas?
Yeah, as we said, it'll be Gill over at first, Cruz to second, Camus to short, and Pavin Parks over at third as Braden Scott out there for his fourth inning of work. He's done a great job so far keeping these Wildcats bats quiet after they've been so hot, especially as of late.
Yeah, they have, and very impressed with Braden Scott here today. I mean, he's done a good job, and he worked around that third frame where he gave up some contact there against Tyreek Reed. Obviously got some luck with that Hernandez kind of base running error, but he's worked well despite that, and hopefully he continues to do so here in this fourth.
Yeah, he had gave him a couple of hits, but both of them were pretty weak contact, and like we mentioned, that hit he gave up to Tyreek Reed was up in the zone, is at 91 miles per hour. It was not an easy pitch for Reed to do anything with, but managed to loop it out into right field, and great defense there from the Otters to get him out of the inning, and now he has to reset and go up against Andrew Scheck over at first base as he continues, or as he looks to try to get into the hit column today. First pitch in from Scott is taken low and away. Scheck will start 1-0. Mentioned earlier that Scheck is the career leading home run hitter for the Washington Wild Things. Count now at 1-1. Scheck awaits the 1-1 pitch in from Scott. Takes that one low and away. Count moves to 2-1. Scheck in the left-handed batter's box stands at 6'6", a big human being who's hit a lot of home runs for the Wild Things. Now awaits the 2-1 pitch. Grounder towards second. Newly entered Cruz will take it in and bring it out for out number 1. So quickly one away will lead to Wagner Lagrange. And now as we looked at the 5-hole, obviously this middle of the lineup still very good, but very fortunate for the Otters and really for anyone in the Frontier League. Caleb McNeely, the MVP of the Frontier League last year, signed by the Twins, currently playing with their low A ball team over at Fort Myers. Lagrange, first pitch, taken for a strike. Scott starts ahead of him, 0-1.
Yeah, a lot of contracts have been purchased this year from the Frontier League, it seems. More than usual maybe in the first month.
And the windup, the 0-1 pitch, chopper towards third. And it's going to get through both Parks and Camus. Both of them reached their gloves out and just couldn't bring it in. So a one-out base knock for Lagrange, the third soft hit of the night for the Wild Things. And that will bring in Jeff LaCory. LaCory with 4 home runs on the year, the last 3 for the Wild Things. 3 of those home runs have come off of lefties, so he's not afraid to hit against left-handed pitchers. Now with the runner on first, here comes the first pitch into LaCory. He takes that one outside, count moves to 1-0. Lagrange over at first. Only 1 stolen base on the year. So can steal bases, but not a huge threat. That pitch catches the corner. Count moves to 1-1. LaCory steps in the left-handed batter's box, making his 23rd appearance of the year for Washington. That one stays outside. Count moves to 2-1.
It's a really good take from LaCory there. Great pitch from Scott. Tried to go away on the slider. Hit his spot, just couldn't quite get him to chase.
Now the 2-1 pitch. That one goes low, so count moves to 3-1 now. LaCoria's first at bat was hit by a pitch. The first Wild Thing to reach back in the second inning. Now here in the top of the fourth with a runner on. Otters leading 3-1 in the top of the fourth inning. Runner takes off towards second. Pitch is a called ball 4. So it doesn't matter what happened there at second, as it was a walk. So now runners will be on first and second with 1 away.
Shortstop 5, Ethan Wilder.
Now it's Ethan Wilder. Steps it to the plate. He's at shortstop today, and Wilder, he's got the name, he's got the stats. He's done really well. Wilder for the Wild Things.
Just a great baseball name, too. Wilder is.
Comes in with a .442 on-base percentage. 13 RBIs on the season. Now he's got ducks on the pond with only 1 away. First pitch into Wilder. Chopper towards third, but it will go foul. Count now at 0-1. Lagrange at second. LaCory over at first. Soft hit for Lagrange, a walk for LaCory. Now Scott from the stretch delivers the 0-1 pitch into the Wild Things shortstop. That one catches the zone, and he's ahead 0-2 now.
That pitch has been so good for Braden Scott tonight. Going to the back door against right-handed hitters on that breaking ball. Front door to lefties. So tight, nice spin on it, really good movement.
Now the 0-2 pitch. Line up the middle, off the glove of Braden Scott. Camus, who was heading up the middle, isn't going to be able to bring it in for a play. And so everyone is safe all around. Bases loaded with 1 away, and now Scott is walking around the mound trying to shake off his glove hand. After that was a hot shot up the middle. 100 miles per hour off the bat, directly back at Braden Scott.
And it ricocheted off him to the umpire. Oh, man. It looks like it got him right on that front area of the glove, maybe, where there's not as much padding and there's an opening. Thankfully, it was on the glove hand, not his throwing hand. So even if he was to be taken out of the game here tonight, it most likely wouldn't, it wouldn't be any long-term issue for him.
So while we have the time, we should mention yesterday Casey Delgado was activated off the 14-day IL. He'll, at least for now, work out of the bullpen. We'll see potentially he could get some spot starts. In the corresponding move, Adrian Montilva was added to the 14-day DL or IL. Obviously not what you wanted to see after his 2-inning start, but it's good news for Casey Delgado, who's last year had a 2.88 ERA for the Otters. We'll see when it is we'll see him. Scott will stay out on the mound. Now he's got to work with the bases loaded to the 8-hole hitter, Brett Roberts.
Second baseman.
Good sign. Scott going to battle through this one.
Roberts worked a walk and came around to score on the Tyreek Reed bloop single. Came in on the year batting .258. 16 hits and 62 at-bats. Time is called by Scott as he'll step off and step back on. Roberts in the right-handed batter's box. First pitch taken inside, blocked by Felix. Count at 1-0. Bases loaded with 1 away here in the top of the fourth inning. Otters lead 3-1 off the back of a Keenan Taylor 2-run shot. But the Wildcats threatening here to try to bounce back on their own. Now the 1-0 pitch in from Braden Scott. Pulled the string and got him swinging. Count moves to 1-1.
Once again, That breaking ball doing wonders for Scott here tonight. Seems like that's been his primary pitch here so far.
Scott looks into his longtime battery mate, Justin Felix, and comes set and delivers the 1-1 pitch. High pop up into foul territory. Gill will move over towards it, and he will get under and bring it in for a huge out. Number 2, as now Scott is 1 out away from getting out of this jam unharmed.
That's about as good of a situation as you could get right there. You either want a strikeout or a pop-up. That's the one of 2 options you'd like to have there with 1 away and bases loaded. And you get the pop-up, and now all of a sudden you have a chance to get out of this one unscathed.
Now it's Jomer Hernandez. Got the first hit of the night for the Wild Things. It was similar to the hit from Lagrange, just kind of found the hole on the left side of the infield. First pitch taken on the inside part of the plate for strike 1. So Scott starts ahead 0-1.
These right-handed hitters need to be ready to swing at that type of pitch. It's been called a strike all night. It's been consistent, and it's close enough to where it's probably be swinging anyway.
Hernandez and the right-handed batter's box awaits the 0-1 pitch. That one's hit hard into right field. Schwartz on his way back at the track brings it in for out number 3. So the Wild Things strand the bases loaded. Otters still lead 3-1 as we head to the bottom half of the 4th. You're listening to the Otters Digital Network and on 96.9 WYIR.
Originally opening in 2004, Jacobs Village has been a home for adults with disabilities, giving these great residents a wonderful opportunity to live life just like you and me. Jacobs Village mission is to continue building a safe, walkable neighborhood community where people with disabilities and older adults can find meaningful relationships, affordable and accessible housing, and activities to keep their bodies and minds engaged. We can't wait to have Jacobs Village at the ballpark on July 3rd for our annual Red, White, and Blue Night. More information on this great community partner is available at jacobsvillage.org. For the last 5 years, the Evansville African American Museum and the Evansville Otters have partnered together to offer tickets at no cost for the whole family for the Juneteenth Negro Leagues Baseball Tribute. All are invited to celebrate Juneteenth with us on June 19th for the annual Salute to the Negro Leagues game. Pre-game activities start at 4:30 with first pitch scheduled for 5:05. For information on these tickets, fans can stop by the Evansville African American Museum at 579 Sandra Matthews Way in Evansville or any local Evansville-Vanderburgh Public Library.
Back here at historic Bossy Field, I'm Lucas Macklin alongside my partner Riley Angel. You're listening to the Otters Digital Network and the Home Team Network. Reminder, Home Team Network is the exclusive home of every Frontier League game this year. Check out the Home Team Network to sign up today. Get a front row seat to every Otters game this year. Speaking of the Frontier League, look around the scoreboard. Mississippi took down Florence 7-4. That's big for the Otters. The Tri-City Valley Cats currently ahead of Lake Erie 2-0 in the bottom of the 5th inning. Schaumburg ahead of Windy City, Gateway ahead of Joliet. Florence and Mississippi will play again tonight to finish off their doubleheader. And then an interesting score, Quebec down 2-1 to Down East in the top of the 7th inning. That would be quite the upset.
Yeah, it certainly would be. Quebec has, they're basically the Dodgers of the Frontier League at this point. They're so insanely talented. They've won 12 in a row, 21-4. Man.
Well, Dodgers lost today too, so that would make sense.
True. In walk-off fashion.
After a blown save.
How about that? It's Cardinal ball.
Raymond Gill, the first to meet Perez in this inning, and he fouls that one off, count at 0-1. Gill looking to get going here. Struck out his first at-bat. Awaits the 0-1 pitch. The 1-1 pitch, actually. There was a pitch clock violation that we missed. That finds a zone. Count moves to 1-2. So Gill now playing first base. Again, he's played some really good first base this year, so defensively you're really excited about that. Pitch in the dirt, count moves to 2-2.
And that's where he got himself back into the lineup against Florence, was playing over at first base and L.J. Jones in right field before Logan Brown was signed, and while there still was injury stuff going on with J.T. Benson.
Now the 2-2 pitch into Gill. That one runs inside, almost got him. Didn't. Count runs full. Just under 70 pitches from Marlon Perez already here in the 4th inning. Payoff pitch. Chopper up the middle. Past the shortstop of Ethan Wilder, off his glove, and Raymond Gill in the hit column. A leadoff base knock will lead to Justin Felix.
So tough play by Wilder, ranging up the middle and took a real bad bounce on that lip, skipped up and over the heel of his glove and into center field, which allowed Raymond to get on first base. Good start for the Otters, but boy, as a shortstop, that is just so frustrating. So frustrating. You have a good read on it. You're there to make the play, and a bad hop ruins it.
Seeing this bossy field infield create many of a bad hop can be very difficult, especially if you don't play here every day. Now it's Justin Felix awaits the first pitch from Marlon Perez. Checked his swing. Pitch stays high. Count moves to 1-0.
I guess you could say it has a rustic feel to it. Bossy field does.
The old Butte in all her glory. 1-0 pitch into Felix. Swings through that one. Count moves to 1-1. Slowed it down a little bit at 83. Career high 98 pitches in his last appearance for Marlon Perez. I mentioned he's now just over the 70 mark here. We'll see how long the Wild Things let him go. As Felix takes that pitch outside, count moves to 2-1. Felix, 2-1 pitch. Didn't go. Ball stays high. Count moves to 3-1. Justin Felix with a .305 on-base percentage. Hit his first home run a couple of games ago. It was the difference-making home run against Mississippi. Takes that pitch inside for ball 4. So a Deerhead Sidewalk Cafe and Bar for Justin Felix. His 12th walk on the season. And now there are runners on first and second with no one away for Alay Camus. And this could be a spot where you see Camus lay down a bunt, especially with how good Perez has been against lefties.
I think we will see it here. And with Schwartz and Brown on deck and then in the hole, I don't see any reason why not to. You can see the infield is expecting it with the corners playing in.
First pitch, Camus does square around. Perfect bunt down the third base line. Only plays to first for Caulfield. He brings it in for out number 1. Runners advance. Now they're second and third with only one away. And that will bring in Ellis Schwartz.
Schwartz worked such a good at-bat his last time up in the third. Hopefully he can do the same thing here. And even if he doesn't, end it being on base, if he can work that pitch count a little higher, get this lefty out of the ball game early.
That first pitch finds a zone. He starts behind 0-1. In those first 2 at-bats, he saw 19 total pitches.
Oof.
Ellis Schwartz did. Both of those ended up in full counts. Drew a walk his last time. Starts behind 0-1 here. Next pitch in from Perez. That's lifted into center field. DeLeo is going to have to go back for it. He'll bring it in for out number 2. Both runners will tag. Throw will come into Wilder at short. And the run scores easily. So the Otters tack on another. Leads now at 4-1.
Ellis Schwartz is making such a good first impression right now. I mean, just gets the job done right there. Does exactly what he needs to do. Puts the ball in the air, hit it hard on a line to center. Now you got your best player up with a runner on third base and a 3-run lead.
Graham Brown awaits the first pitch from Perez. Takes that one at the bottom part of the zone for a strike. Count moves to 0-1. Runner on third. 2 outs for Graham Brown. Otters with 1 in already. Lead at 4-1 in the bottom of the 4th. Next pitch into Brown. That one goes up and away. Count moves to 1-1. Brown, the 23-year-old out of Middletown, Maryland. 1-1 pitch. That one goes up and away. Count moves to 2-1. Finished up his season at Coastal Carolina last year. Coastal Carolina, one of the first teams, potentially the first team, if I remember correctly, to advance to the College World Series. That one's outside. Count moves to 3-1. And a new record high, 22 straight wins going into the College World Series for Coastal Carolina.
That's a hot baseball team.
It's a hot team. They just took down Auburn today. Count it 3-1 now. That pitch stays high for ball 4, so Perez didn't want to test him. And now he'll go up against Pavin Parks.
Yeah, I mean, he wanted no part of Graham Brown in that at-bat, and you could just tell by the way he was pitching him. And the pitch selection he used, I mean, that's a 3-1 breaking ball in independent baseball. You don't see that very often, but again, they didn't want to test Graham Brown, and now you face a guy in Pavin Parks who is probably a matchup you'd rather face with him being a lefty against a left-handed pitching Perez.
Parks drew a walk in his first at-bat, then popped out in his second at-bat. First pitch takes that one just at the top corner for a strike. Count moves to 0-1. Justin Felix at third, Graham Brown at first. Pavin Parks tries to add to this Otters lead. Graham Brown takes off. That one is fouled off. So he'll have to go back to first. Count at 0-2 now. We'll see how Pavin tries to battle in this at-bat. This next pitch will be Perez's 85th pitch on the night. Brown takes off again. That one's laced into left field. It's going to get down for a base hit. The run, Felix will score easily. Otters now lead 5-1 on the Pavin Parks RBI knock. What a job from Pavin Parks, just throwing his bat out there, lined it hard into left field, and a huge 5th run for the Otters as they lead 5-1.
Pavin just hitting it where it's pitched. He got an outside fastball, did exactly what he needed to do with it, and squared it up the opposite way into left. And now, Evansville, I don't want to say has broken it open, but you're definitely comfortable with the lead you have at 5-1.
Runners both take off, and no throw either way. So an epic stolen base presented by the Epic Insurance Company. A double stolen base, and now runners on second and third and 2 away for J.J. Cruz as he gets his first at-bat of the night. That first pitch was a ball, so count it 1-0. Next pitch just finds his own. Count moves to 1-1. We've seen some of these double steals a lot of times from Graham Brown and Pavin Parks. They love to try to create chaos in the base paths. They do it again there. 1-1 pitch. Ripped towards the right side. It's going to be a tough play for Roberts at second. The pitch to Perez can't get over in time, and it's an infield single. And the Otters score another run.
Ladies and gentlemen, your attention, please. We need Zachary Avalon.
So Brown scores. Pavin Parks over to third. J.J. Cruz an infield base knock. And now it's 6-1 Otters.
I mean, they are just moving the line along here in this inning. They've seen something off of Perez these last 2 frames that they really like, and they've been able to exploit. In Washington, I mean, it's happened so quickly that Washington doesn't even have anyone in their pen yet.
Check over at first was diving for it, so he couldn't be over at first, and Perez just wasn't over to first base quickly enough. So now it's Keenan Taylor. Awaits the first pitch. That one goes high. He starts ahead 1-0. 2-strike home run for Keenan Taylor that gave the Otters their first lead of the night. Now he's got more runners at base and a chance to try to really break this one open. That finds his own. Count moves to 1-1.
You would love for him to find another hole here, get that 12th 2-out RBI on the season.
Next pitch lifted into center field. DeLeo is going to come in on it and will bring it in for out number 3, but the Otters score 3 more. They lead 6-1 as we head to the 5th. You're listening to the Otters Digital Network and on 96.9 WYIR.
Right now in Vanderburgh County, over 800 children are in the child welfare system waiting for someone to be their voice, and you could be that voice by becoming a court-appointed special advocate, a CASA volunteer. Donating just a few hours a month of your time can change a child's life forever. Vanderburgh County CASA invites you to join them. Stand up, speak out, be for the child, be a CASA. For more information, visit vandcasa.com. That's VAND-CASA.com. Ballet Indiana is made up of local ballet professionals, dedicated parents, and community members in order to provide unique and life-enriching experiences for hundreds of young dancers, while carrying out their mission to inspire a lifelong appreciation for dance for both our dancers and the Evansville community. More information on Ballet Indiana and information about their upcoming performances is available at balletindiana.org.
Braden Scott out there for a fifth inning of work. You know who else is back? All you can eat fries and wings at Buffalo Wild Wings. That's right, Monday through Thursday, now including traditional wings. That's right, all the wings and fries you can eat with your favorite sauce. Just $19.99 for boneless and $24.99 for traditional wings. So get all the heavy hitters together and head to Buffalo Wild Wings Mondays through Thursdays for a limited time. Dine in only. Visit either Evansville locations, 5405 Pearl Drive and 715 North Green River Road for details. So Braden Scott now out there with a 5-run lead as he looks to try to continue to shut down these Wild Things bats.
And whenever you give a lead like this, the run support to your ace, you feel so much better. Out in the field, you feel confident when the ball is hit to you. As an offense, you're confident that your guy's going to go out there and able to shut this team down. And if you just keep doing what you're doing, you're going to get the win. So hopefully Scott can go out here and shut down these bats here again in this fifth frame.
It's Jake DeLeo at the plate. Takes that first pitch for a ball. Count at a 1-0. He struck out twice so far tonight. It's been the top of the lineup that's really struggled. One for 6 and 5 strikeouts for the top 3 batters in the lineup. That pitch misses. Count moves to 2-0. It was Tyreek Reed who muscled a blooper into right field to get the only run for the Wild Things. But other than that, it's been rough sailing for the top of this Wild Things lineup. 2-0 pitch into DeLeo. That stays high, so now he's ahead 3-0. So now all of a sudden, Braden Scott struggling to find the zone against DeLeo here. Scott had to work through some traffic last inning, had the bases loaded with 1 away. 3-0 pitch runs inside, so a 4-pitch walk to DeLeo, and now he's going to have to work with traffic once again.
I feel like we've seen this a lot. When he comes out of the dugout, maybe doesn't have the feel he had in the last inning, and hopefully it's just more of a warm-up thing for him. Just get that first batter out of the way, and then you find your stuff.
So his third walk on the night brings in Tommy Caulfield. First pitch. Bender finds his own. Starts ahead 0-1. So Caulfield has struggled so far with his off-speed pitches. We'll see if Caulfield has adjusted with his third time at the plate. Braden Scott ahead 0-1. Now the next pitch. That one stays outside. Count moves to 1-1. Jake DeLeo over at first base. Fresh off from the Marlins organization, where in 2024 had 15 stolen bases and 17 attempts. Check over at first, nothing doing. During his 2 seasons in minor leagues, had 30 stolen bases and 34 attempts. Played 3 seasons at Georgia Tech before being drafted by the Miami Marlins. Jake DeLeo did. Now the 1-1 pitch into Caulfield is taken just low. Count moves to 1-1. 2-1 rather. Caulfield in the left-handed batter's box. A .250 batting average early in this season. That pitch stays inside. Count moves to 3-1. Only his ninth appearance on the season after playing in 93 of 95 games last year for Washington. Now the 3-1 pitch into Caulfield. That one just misses outside, so another walk, the second of the inning. And now there are runners on first and second with no one away for the DH, Tyreek Reed.
We always see, it seems like there's either an inning or two where Scott kind of just loses control a little bit. This looks like it might be one of those, as Max Peterson's going to go out and talk to him, but we'll see. I mean, tough part of the lineup to walk two in front of, that's for sure, with it being Reed, Check, and Lagrange, the 3-do. See what adjustments Scott makes, and if he's able to get out of this one as unscathed as he did back in the fourth.
Really tough because those two batters had 4 strikeouts and 4 at-bats before those 2 at-bats and a couple of walks. 4-pitch walk to DeLeo, then a 5-pitch walk to Caulfield, kind of bailing them out almost.
Yeah, never really gave himself a chance in either one of those at-bats because each of the misses weren't necessarily close. He's using the cleat tool to clean off the bottom of his cleats, so maybe some grip issues on the mound right now due to the rain earlier tonight, but we'll see.
Yohan Gonzalez over just on the bullpen mound, just kind of stretching it out. Otters typically like to let their starters try to get out of their jams, and no reason why they would stop that now, especially with Braden Scott. They just have to work out of some trouble here. Runners on first and second with no one away, and it's Tyreek Reed at the plate. Otters lead 6-1, but leads can fall apart real quick in this league. And now Scott will come set and deliver the first pitch into Reed. Bender stays outside, and he starts behind 1-0. Reed, a former 8th-round pick of the Texas Rangers. Played as high as AA baseball while he was with the Red Sox organization. In his second season with the Wild Things. That pitch finds his own. Count moves to 1-1.
Hey, we're just going to say thank you and move on after that pitch.
Tyreek Reed was the Frontier League batting champion last year with a .341 batting average. This year at a .289 with a .434 on base percentage. That finds his own, and count moves to 1-2. 18 walks to 13 strikeouts. So his batting average is down, but his on base percentage up 20 points. So some different approach here in his second season with the Wild Things. Time called by Reed as he resets. Scott on the mound, Reed at the plate. Reed with a 2-strike bloop single in the third inning, which is the lone RBI for the Wild Things today. Now he's got runners on first and second with no one out, but a 1-2 count. Scott, the pitch. That one is fouled off as he just stays alive.
Friendly reminder to keep an eye out for foul balls. They can travel at very fast speeds, especially if you're not seated behind that protected netting behind home plate.
Reed stands at 6'1" in the right-handed batter's box. Still a 1-2 count. That one's ripped right to the shortstop. Camus brings it in, tosses a second for one, throw to first, in time for out number 3. What a play by Camus, a Hoosier Lottery double play. Choose the best with the Hoosier Lottery, and please play responsibly. But what a play from Ole Camus.
Yeah, great pick on a hard hop at 105 off the bat. Fell to the seat of his pants, somehow flipped it to Cruz. Quick turn to first to get him. Boy, what a double play.
And now there are 2 away. Still runner at third for Andrew Check. First pitch in there for a strike. Starts ahead 0-1. Mentioned Check at 6'6" in the left-handed batter's box. A huge time home run hitter. He has 6 on the year. Battles it out with Braden Scott. Here's the 0-1 pitch. That finds his own. Count moves to 0-2. So Check behind now as he has to battle. Scott will come set. And deliver the 0-2 pitch. That one just outside. Count moves to 1-2. Check in his 5th season with the Wildcats. Joined them out of college after playing 4 seasons with the Walsh Cavaliers. And now has played 5 seasons with Washington and mentioned their career home run leader. Now the 1-2 pitch. Swung on a miss for strike 3. A German-American bank strikeout. Some nifty defense and a huge strikeout gets the Otters out of the inning scoreless. They still lead 6-1 as we head to the bottom of the 5th. You're listening to the Otters Digital Network and on 96.9 WYIR.
Maintaining our independence becomes more and more vital as we age. Swerka and More can help you navigate this important journey by answering your questions and connecting you to free and unbiased community resources and support services. If you are seeking advice for yourself or a loved one, let Swerka be your first call. More information available at swerka.org or by calling 812-464-7800. Originally opening in 2004, Jacobs Village has been a home for adults with disabilities, giving these great residents a wonderful opportunity to live life just like you and me. Jacobs Village mission is to continue building a safe, walkable neighborhood community where people with disabilities and older adults can find meaningful relationships, affordable and accessible housing, and activities to keep their bodies and minds engaged. We can't wait to have Jacobs Village at the ballpark on July 3rd for our annual Red, White, and Blue Night. More information on this great community partner is available at jacobsvillage.org.
It's the bottom half of the Buffalo Wild Wings 5th inning, and it's back at Buffalo Wild Wings. All you can eat wings and fries Monday through Thursday, now including traditional wings. That's right, all the wings and fries you can eat with your favorite sauce, just $19.99 for boneless and $24.99 for traditional. So get all the heavy hitters together and head to Buffalo Wild Wings Mondays through Thursdays for a limited time. Dine in only. Visit either Evansville locations, 5405 Pearl Drive and 715 North Green River Road for details. So Perez is out there for a 5th inning of work, but man, what an inning for the Otters defense and for Braden Scott. It's been a few innings where they've had to work through traffic and yet only 1 run given up.
Yeah, it's crazy. I mean, that double play that Alay Camus was able to turn, that's one of the best double plays I've seen, period. I mean, has to snag it at 105 off the bat on one hop, falls to his backside and somehow flipped it.
So it's Logan Brown first up in this inning. He takes that first pitch for his strike. Starts behind 0-1. Seems like as the night has gone on, the left side of the plate's gotten a little bit more wide. Now the 0-1 pitch into Brown. Lays off that one. Count moves to 1-1. Checked his swing. They'll check down to third, but Kevin Furman down at third says he didn't go. Count at 1-1 for the former University of Southern Indiana Screaming Eagle. Swings through that one. Count at 1-2 now. Brown recently activated from the inactive list. Next pitch swung through on that one and strikes out. So a quick out number 1 for Perez. We'll bring in Raymond Gill.
First baseman, number 10, Raymond Gill.
Gill steps into the right-handed batter's box. He started the 4th inning with a base knock into center field. That would end up turning into 3 runs. He obviously came around to score. Now the first pitch, lifted high into right field, not super deep. LaCourie has to move back on it as it just kind of keeps carrying on him, but brings it in for out number 2.
And off of that, he had no idea where that ball was. Lifted his hands in the air to signify, listen, I have no idea where the ball is. Found it in the lights and was able to track it back. So definitely made it look a little harder than it was, but certainly, twilight hour, overcast sky, it can be hard to see the baseball once it gets up and over the lights.
So it's Justin Felix as he tries to extend this 5th inning for the Otters. First pitch, Bender finds his own. He starts behind 0-1. That one just at the top of the zone at 69 miles per hour. Slowing it down even more.
Nice.
Now the count at 0-1. Chopper, not very far. Pitcher's going to leave it for Caulfield. He has to try to make the play, and he can't. And so the second infield single, I believe, for Justin Felix. And now the inning extends to Alay Camus.
That's just a mental mistake right there. That's Perez's ball all the way. He needs to hustle out there, pick it up, and fire a bullet over to first base instead of leaving his third baseman and Caulfield out to dry there. I mean, that's a lose-lose situation for Caulfield because he expects Perez to go over there and make that play.
It's going to be a tough play for Caulfield. Now it's Camus in the box. First pitch fouls that one overhead. An overhead foul ball brought to you by Heads Construction. Choose the best and never regret it. Count at 0-1 for Camus. A sacrifice bunt his last time up. Lifts that one into left field. It goes out of play, and quickly he's behind 0-2. You can tell Camus is trying to fight against this left-handed pitcher, but Perez has been really good against left-handed batters all year, and he's proved it again tonight. He'll step off. Only one real hard hit off of him against a lefty. That was Pavement Park's RBI single. And swung on a miss for strike 3, so 3 pitches is all he needs to get Camus out. Otters get a runner on, but do nothing with it. They still lead 6-1 as we head to the 6th. You're listening to the Otters Digital Network and on 96.9 WYIR.
For the last 5 years, the Evansville African American Museum and the Evansville Otters have partnered together to offer tickets at no cost for the whole family for the Juneteenth Negro Leagues Baseball Tribute. All are invited to celebrate Juneteenth with us on June 19th for the annual Salute to the Negro Leagues game. Pre-game activities start at 4:30 with first pitch scheduled for 5:05. For information on these tickets, fans can stop by the Evansville African American Museum at 579 Sandra Matthews Way in Evansville or any local Evansville-Vanderburgh Public Library. Right now, in Vanderburgh County, over 800 children are in the child welfare system waiting for someone to be their voice, and you could be that voice by becoming a court-appointed special advocate, a CASA volunteer. Donating just a few hours a month of your time can change a child's life forever. Vanderburgh County CASA invites you to join them. Stand up, speak out, be for the child, be a CASA. For more information, visit vandcasa.com. That's VAND CASA.com.
So Braden Scott out there for another inning of work after tightrope walking the last couple of innings. Has kept the Wild Things off the board in the 4th and the 5th, and now looks to try to get through 6 for the Otters for his second straight start.
He's done good. Worked through some of that tough traffic in a couple of frames, and you know that's what you expect your veteran guy to go out there and do. He's been in those situations before because he's been doing this for so long. So you expect him to go out there. Yes, he's going to get in some trouble. Every guy does in every outing unless you're throwing a perfecto or a no-no. So, I mean, he's doing exactly what he needs to do, only giving up 1 run through 5 innings. The offense has put up runs for him, and hopefully he can get through this 6th and let this bullpen do some work.
So it's Lagrange who will be the first to meet him here. He steps into the right-handed batter's box. First pitch, taken for a strike, starts ahead 0-1. So in the top of the 7th inning, Tri-City is now tied with Lake Erie at 2-2. Mississippi taking an early 1-0 lead over Florence in their second game of their doubleheader. Now the 0-1 pitch in from Scott. Taken for a strike, starts ahead 0-2. And Quebec has taken a 4-2 lead in the top of the 8th inning.
Man, Quebec is inevitable.
Scott ahead of Lagrange 0-2 here. Looks to try to get a quick out number 1 in this 6th inning. That one in the dirt. Little dance there from Lagrange to get out of the way. Count moves to 1-2.
Final announcement, happy 17th birthday, Caden Smith, 17 years old. And congratulations are not winning the bet anymore. That was from Dad and Landry. Happy birthday.
Scott ahead of Lagrange, 1-2. Lagrange did single his last at bat. That one fouled off as he stays alive. That was hit hard right at the Otters bullpen. Thankfully, I believe it got the netting. Count still at 1-2. This will be the 91st pitch of the night for Braden Scott. 1-2 pitch into Lagrange. That one's hit high into foul territory. That one's hooking out of play. Count remains at 1-2, so we'll do it again. This will be, I should say, in his last 3 official starts, Braden Scott has gone over 100 pitches, so it would not be shocking to see him do it again. Obviously, he had that start against Lake Erie in the game that was suspended and didn't finish. So those stats are not official. Now Scott awaits the 1-2 pitch. That one's lifted high into the air into left field. Taylor on his way back, heading towards the foul line and brings it in for out number 1. So quickly one away will lead to Jeff LaCourie.
Right fielder, 33, Jeff LaCourie.
He'll step into the left-handed batter's box, looking for his first hit of the night, although he has reached both times. He's walked and was also hit by a pitch. First pitch, taken for a strike, starts behind 0-1. That's a good sign. He walked him on 5 pitches his last at-bat. Starts to hit 0-1. That pitch in the dirt, count moves to 1-1.
Ladies and gentlemen, you see Tyler Gutu standing behind home plate. We want to wish him a very happy birthday, the pride of Kent State University. 1, 2, 3.
Count at 1-1 for Jeff LaCourie. That pitch stays high, so now count at 2-1 for Braden Scott.
Is print more tickets, so call 1-2-4-3-5-8-6-8-6 for future Otters home game.
LaCourie with 4 home runs on the year for Washington. That pitch stays high. Now it counts at 3-1. LaCourie with a .411 on-base percentage, a .518 slugging percentage coming into this game. That pitch stays high, and a 5-pitch walk to LaCourie puts a runner on with 1 away for the shortstop, Ethan Wilder.
5, Ethan Wilder.
I'm kind of fine with that. I mean, each time he's come to the plate, you've given him a free pass, but when he's been as good as he has been, I don't think it's a bad thing. Yes, you'd rather get the guy out, but if you're going to pitch to him carefully, and better he stand on first base than be rounding the bases right now.
First pitch into Wilder is taken just low. So now he starts behind Wilder 1-0. Wilder in his second season with Washington awaits the 1-0 pitch in from Scott. That one runs inside, so 6 straight balls off the plate. Count it 2-0. Appeared in 65 games for the Wild Things last year. Had a .285 batting average. Had 6 doubles. That pitch finds his own, and count moves to 2-1. Played 4 years of college ball with the Lander Bearcats. Had 11 career home runs with them. That one's ripped past the shortstop, Camus. And so now runners on first and second with 1 away. Will lead to Brett Roberts.
Second baseman, 9, Brett Roberts.
Wilder went down to get that one. That was just below the zone. But once again, Scott's going to have to try to work through some traffic as he has done all night. Roberts walked his first at-bat, came around to score. Takes the first pitch for a strike, starts behind 0-1. Scored the lone run for Washington in this game. That pitch he takes just high, apparently.
And that's one that's
Count it 1-1.
been a strike most of the night. Definitely one you want.
He popped out in his last at-bat. Now awaits the 1-1 pitch. Takes that one low. Count moves to 2-1.
Griff Hughes up and warming in the Otters bullpen, so see if and when he is used here tonight.
Runners on first and second with one away. Otters lead 6-1 here in the top of the sixth. But the Wildcats threatening once again. Now the 2-1 pitch. That one's taken low. Count moves to 3-1. So Scott gonna have to try to battle through some command issues in this inning. It was a walk to the Corey, a hit to Ethan Wilder. Now he's behind Brett Roberts, 3-1. Here comes that 3-1 pitch. Hit softly to Cruz at second. Toss to second for one. Throw to first from Camus in time for another Hoosier Lottery double play. And that gets Scott out of the inning. Timely defense for the Otters comes up big again. They still lead 6-1 as we head to the bottom of the sixth. You're listening to the Otters Digital Network and on 96.9 WYIR.
Ballet Indiana is made up of local ballet professionals, dedicated parents, and community members in order to provide unique and life-enriching experiences for hundreds of young dancers, while carrying out their mission to inspire a lifelong appreciation for dance for both our dancers and the Evansville community. More information on Ballet Indiana and information about their upcoming performances is available at balletindiana.org. Maintaining our independence becomes more and more vital as we age. Swerka and More can help you navigate this important journey by answering your questions and connecting you to free and unbiased community resources and support services. If you are seeking advice for yourself or a loved one, let Swerka be your first call. More information available at swerka.org or by calling 812-464-7800.
New pitcher for Washington. It's Ryan Chassie. Chassie on the mound. It's Jomer Hernandez behind the plate. That pitcher and catcher battery is sponsored by the Answer Auto Repair East. Find your battery needs at the Answer Auto Repair East, located at 2319 North Green River Road, or call 812-475-9000. It's new pitcher in here for Washington as he tries to keep this 5-run Otters lead where it's at.
Yeah, it's Ryan Chassie. This is his first year in independent baseball. He spent the last 3 seasons in the Toronto Blue Jays system, 2 with their single-A team, the other with their Florida Complex League team. So far this year, 9 appearances, a 3.60 ERA, 10 innings pitched. He has struck out 13, walked 10, so the walk's a bit of an issue. I mean, they have been in a while. Very, very small sample size, only 4 innings with the Blue Jays last year, but the walk per 9, 20.3.
Yeah, that's really struggled with walks ever since he got into pro ball, even a little bit while he was in college, especially during his last year. First pitch to the Edward Jones, leadoff batter of the game, Ellis Schwartz. Takes first pitch for a ball, count moves to 1-0. Yep, through it all, has pitched to a 3.6 ERA this season. Schwartz, a big hack at that one, comes up with nothing, count moves to 1-1.
Also, one thing about Schwartz, when he swings, he's gonna take a big rip at it.
1-1 pitch, fouls that one overhead, and overhead foul ball brought to you by Heads Construction. Choose the best, never regret it.
That's construction. Choose the best, not the regret.
So a walk problem for Chassis. That pitch just stays high. Count moves to 2-2, but does strike out a lot of batters. Has an 11.7 K per nine so far in his 10 innings of work this year. 13 strikeouts to 10 walks, though. That's not. Those are two numbers you don't want to see close to each other when you're pitching. Now 2-2 pitch. Swung at that one in the dirt. Hernandez will have to pick it up and throw it to first, and he will. And so a strikeout for out number one will lead to Graham Brown. Brown walked his last time up. Also has struck out on the night. Also has a base hit. So 1 for 2 on the night. Has come around to score, has walked, and has struck out. And now faces Chassis. First pitch, swinging at that one. Comes up with nothing, though. He's behind 0-1.
Chassis sitting around the low 90s on this fastball. We've seen 91 and 92 so far.
From the windup delivers the 0-1 pitch. That pitch stays outside. Count moves to 1-1. The defense plays Brown straight up, infield and outfield. Now the 1-1 pitch. Chopper foul. Count moves to 1-2 as Brown will have to battle. Graham Brown coming in on the season, a .391 on base percentage. 5 home runs, 8 doubles, a triple. 9 for 10 in stolen base attempts, now 10 for 11. Watches that one stay low. Count moves to 2-2. Chassis looks in, will come set and deliver. Brown checked his swing. Did he go? He didn't, says the first base umpire, Blake McKnight. Count runs full to Graham Brown.
And we've seen that pitch call for a strike tonight as well. So good take. Really good job of being able to hold the bat back.
Payoff pitch in from Chassis. Strike 3 looking. Brown goes down on a fastball in the zone. And now with 2 away, it'll be to Pavin Parks to try to extend this at 6th inning. Parks hit the ball hard for an RBI base hit earlier in the game. On-base percentage continuing to climb up at .351. Also was walked in this one. That pitch stays high. Starts ahead 1-0. Parks got his 6th stolen base on the year. Now the 1-0 pitch. That one stays low. Count moves to 2-0. Pavin started the game at shortstop, quickly moved to third after the exit of L.J. Jones. Awaits the 2-0 pitch. Rip towards the right side of the field. Check. Knocks it down, brings it in, and brings it to first for out number 3. So he hits the ball hard, but comes up with nothing. Otters lead 6-1 as we head to the final 3 frames. You're listening to the Otters Digital Network and on 96.9 WYIR.
Originally opening in 2004, Jacobs Village has been a home for adults with disabilities, giving these great residents a wonderful opportunity to live life just like you and me. Jacobs Village mission is to continue building a safe, walkable neighborhood community where people with disabilities and older adults can find meaningful relationships, affordable and accessible housing, and activities to keep their bodies and minds engaged. We can't wait to have Jacobs Village at the ballpark on July 3rd for our annual Red, White, and Blue Night. More information on this great community partner is available at jacobsvillage.org. For the last 5 years, the Evansville African American Museum and the Evansville Otters have partnered together to offer tickets at no cost for the whole family for the Juneteenth Negro Leagues Baseball Tribute. All are invited to celebrate Juneteenth with us on June 19th for the annual Salute to the Negro Leagues game. Pre-game activities start at 4:30 with first pitch scheduled for 5:05. For information on these tickets, fans can stop by the Evansville African American Museum at 579 Sandra Matthews Way in Evansville or any local Evansville-Vanderburgh Public Library. Right now in Vanderburgh County, over 800 children are in the child welfare system waiting for someone to be their voice, and you could be that voice by becoming a court-appointed special advocate, a CASA volunteer. Donating just a few hours a month of your time can change a child's life forever. Vanderburgh County CASA invites you to join them. Stand up, speak out, be for the child, be a CASA. For more information, visit vandcasa.com. That's VAND CASA.com.
Braden Scott out, Griff Hughes in, with Evansville on top 6-1 here in this top half of the 7th. Braden Scott finishes with 6 innings pitched, gave up 5 hits, only allowed 1 run, struck out 6 but did walk 5. Griff Hughes comes into this ballgame, though. He has been a real good lefty out of this pen so far for Evansville.
Yeah, so far on the year, he's made 10 appearances. He's pitched in 15 1/3 innings, a 3.52 ERA, 20 strikeouts to 2 walks, just doesn't walk anybody. His last appearance did give up a home run, but other than that was really good. Pitched through 2 innings, gave up that 1 run on the home run, struck out 1. So comes in here trying to just to do more of the same and keep this game where it's at and finish these last 3 innings off and get a huge Game 1 win against this Washington team.
It'll be Jomer Hernandez, Jake DeLeo, and Tommy Caulfield, the 3 due up. Thank you so much for spending your Saturday night with us. I'm Riley Angel alongside my partner Lucas Macklin here at historic Bosse Field for this Game 1, what should have been Game 2 of this series against Washington. The first pitch to Hernandez is taken up and away for a ball, 1-0. Griff Hughes, tall left-handed pitcher, looks in, sets the hands at the abdomen, works out of the stretch, the 1-0. Swung on and missed, tied him up on the 91-mile-per-hour heater, 1-1. Rain has held off throughout the night. Beginning this ball game, it looked like we were going to get pelted at around 9. The 1-1 pitch swung on and fouled back 1-2. But now, the chances have gone from 83 to 15% in the area for us. So I think we're going to be just fine.
Now that's Midwest weather for you.
Yeah.
Unpredictable.
The 2-1. Swung on and missed, 2-2. Never mind, strike 3 called. Scoreboard is wrong. German American Bank strikeout for Griff Hughes.
I wonder if there might have been a pitch clock violation that none of us caught.
Yeah.
But either way, that's a huge out, number 1.
Oh well. Griff Hughes, German American Bank strikeout, his first of this outing. We'll see if they stretch him to 2, as that's what he's usually been able to work, and then who they bring out for the 9th, who knows? The first pitch into DeLeo is swung on and missed, 0-1.
We'll say that rain delay off day ends up being beneficial for the Otters bullpen. Allows them to be a little bit more rested, and we'll see what they want to do. Obviously, you have a 5-run lead, but you don't want to even give Washington a chance back in this one.
The 0-1, swung on and missed. Once again, the high heat got him chasing 0-2. And maybe you would like to save Yoan for really high leverage situations, but I almost like sending a message here against a division leader, and if we're still in this position in the 9th, maybe bring out Yoan, have him toss an inning and shut the door. Or even Alex Valdez. The 0-2. Cold strike 3, outside breaker. Second in a row for Griff Hughes on a German American Bank strikeout.
Just looking as elite as he has been pretty much this entire year.
Now Tommy Caulfield. He's 0 for 2, a walk, 2 Ks. Hughes sets. Hughes delivers. Swung on, popped him up, but that's going to get overhead. Guess what? That overhead foul ball is brought to you by Heads Construction. Choose the best. Never regret it.
I'm always thinking it's going to change, but it's the same every time, huh?
0-1 the count. The pitch. Outside, 1-1. Pretty much perfect baseball weather today. Maybe a little humid, but mid-70s throughout the night. As the 1-1 pitch. Checked his swing, didn't go around, and it was low, so it's 2-1. As it was hot earlier this week. Hot, muggy, high 80s. The rain has cooled it down. This is the third baseball game being played here at Bosse Field today as well. As the 2-1. Inside, 3-1. 2 high school regional championships earlier today here at historic Bosse Field. Mater Dei winning the 2A regional, Evansville North the 4A, so 2 local teams getting it done on local soil. The 3-1 pitch to Caulfield. Outside, ball 4, so Caulfield works his second straight walk.
Designated hitter, 31.
And it'll be Tyreek Reed.
And that does not happen often. Mentioned that's only his third walk of the year for Griff Hughes. And you said my Mater Dei Wildcats, my former alma mater. It's forced me to, unfortunately, say Wildcats a couple of times for the wild things.
Got to bask in that regional glory. Now, if only the Indiana Hoosiers could have gotten it done.
I think they should have been in the tournament. That's totally no bias there.
That's a whole other can of worms. First pitch now to Reed is taken for a strike, 0-1. At least the Cardinals are in second place for you.
And they've been playing really good ball. They beat the Dodgers twice last couple of nights.
How about it? Hughes looks in and sets. 0-1 the count to Reed. Here it is. Swung on, bounced, softly foul. It's 0-2. So Hughes doing what he does best, getting ahead of hitters early in the count.
Yeah, it's good to bounce back after that uncharacteristic walk. Again, just doesn't do that a lot, and it's good to see him bounce back here.
Infield straight up, same with the outfield. Small lead over at first for Caulfield as time is called. Tomorrow, a 5:05 start for Evansville. The usual Sunday start. That's our first 5:05 start on a Sunday this season so far, though. So make sure you're here for that one at historic Bosse Field. The 0-2 pitch from Hughes to Reed. Hughes kicks and fires outside, 1-2. You know, usually we see crowds kind of dissipate throughout the evening here during games. It's just as filled in here as it was at game time. The 1-2. Just misses low. 2-2. Good take there by Reed. Reed, a patient hitter. He was the victim of that unbelievable double play in the 5th. He does have an RBI single, though, responsible for the only run on Washington's side of the scoreboard. The 2-2. Swung on and missed, strike 3. Third strikeout for Griff Hughes. A German-American bank strikeout to end the inning. We go to the bottom of the 8th. Evansville in front here on the Otters Digital Network at 96.9 WYIR.
Ballet Indiana is made up of local ballet professionals, dedicated parents, and community members in order to provide unique and life-enriching experiences for hundreds of young dancers, while carrying out their mission to inspire a lifelong appreciation for dance for both our dancers and the Evansville community. More information on Ballet Indiana and information about their upcoming performances is available at balletindiana.org. Maintaining our independence becomes more and more vital as we age. Swerka and More can help you navigate this important journey by answering your questions and connecting you to free and unbiased community resources and support services. If you are seeking advice for yourself or a loved one, let Swerka be your first call. More information available at swerka.org or by calling 812-464-7800.
Back here, bottom half of the seventh. Remember, fans, the Home Team Network is the exclusive home of every Frontier League game this year. Check out Home Team Network to sign up today and get a front row seat to every Otters game in 2025. That is on HomeTeamLive.com. New pitcher in, Zach Kirby. He was the original scheduled starter tonight, but getting a high-leverage bullpen appearance here in the bottom of the seventh.
Yeah, it looks like they probably just want to get him some work. He's been a usual starter. All four of his appearances were starts. But with the game being rained out last night and his start being pushed back, try to get him some work here. That way you aren't just completely skipping him, especially in a game where you're already down by 5. Let him try to finish out these last 2 innings more than likely and get some work and just to stay alive. And so far in the year, a 6.05 ERA. Again, these have all been in starts. 13 walks, 13 strikeouts and 10 walks, so a guy who also struggles with walking some people.
First pitch here to J.J. Cruz is swung on and hit in the air to left. Back on it is Lagrange to the track, making the catch for the first out.
And that one was very hard hit there for J.J. Cruz. You know, hitting the ball hard quite a bit, especially as of late.
Now Keenan Taylor 1 for 3, but that one with a big exclamation point next to it. A 2-run homer back in the third.
And for Zach Kirby, this is his 3rd season with Washington. His last 2 seasons, he had a 2.42 ERA and a 2.83 ERA. So he's been one of their best starters ever since joining them back in 2013. Usually doing a good job at keeping the walks down and striking out a lot, but this year walks have been up, strikeouts have been down. Obviously, it's only been 4 starts, so you hope that that's something that isn't the same as the year goes on, especially if you are Washington.
The 1-0 to Taylor is in there for a strike, 1-1. Keenan has been so good this year, man. 1-1 from Kirby as he looks in, begins his windup, kicks, and fires. Outside, 2-1.
And these walks are extremely uncharacteristic for him. For most of his career, between college and pros, his walk per 9 has been around 2.2, 2.3, 2.4 maybe. But it being a 4.7 is a huge jump for someone who's usually pretty good at limiting walks.
2-1, up and in for a strike, 2-2. So currently the pitch clock not working, so we're working without a pitch clock currently.
3,357. 3,357.
The 2-2 now from Kirby. Swung on, fouled back. We'll do it again. 3,357 strong here at Bosse Field tonight. Good crowd. It's not even Thirsty Thursday.
Thirsty Saturday.
Thirsty Saturday, there we go. Everyone with their lime drive, I guess. The 2-2 from Kirby. Binder in there, called strike 3. Beautiful curve there from Zach Kirby. Just catches the top of the zone.
Yeah, it's one up there that could be called either way, but definitely did catch the zone. And big out number 2 for Kirby.
Kirby not necessarily a guy that works fast. Now without the pitch clock, it's Like we're all the way back just 3 years ago with no pitch clock. I mean, goodness, how did we live back then? First pitch from Kirby. Swung on, popped him up, third base side, drifting towards foul territory. Looks like it'll stay in play, though, for Caulfield to make the catch for out number 3. So 1, 2, 3, go the Otters here in the 7th. We go to the top of the 8th. Evansville in front, 6-1 on 96.9 WYIR and the Otters Digital Network.
Originally opening in 2004, Jacobs Village has been a home for adults with disabilities, giving these great residents a wonderful opportunity to live life just like you and me. Jacobs Village mission is to continue building a safe, walkable neighborhood community where people with disabilities and older adults can find meaningful relationships, affordable and accessible housing, and activities to keep their bodies and minds engaged. We can't wait to have Jacobs Village at the ballpark on July 3rd for our annual Red, White, and Blue Night. More information on this great community partner is available at jacobsvillage.org. For the last 5 years, the Evansville African American Museum and the Evansville Otters have partnered together to offer tickets at no cost for the whole family for the Juneteenth Negro Leagues Baseball Tribute. All are invited to celebrate Juneteenth with us on June 19th for the annual Salute to the Negro Leagues game. Pre-game activities start at 4:30 with first pitch scheduled for 5:05. For information on these tickets, fans can stop by the Evansville African American Museum at 579 Sandra Matthews Way in Evansville or any local Evansville Vanderburgh Public Library.
Hello, everyone, and welcome back to historic Bosse Field. Time for the 8th. Griff Hughes back here tonight.
First pitch time tomorrow night is at 5:05.
Looked great in that first inning and looks to do some more here. Obviously, Otters still with a 5-run lead. So not a super high leverage situation, but 3 strikeouts in that last inning. And looks, like I said, he's done a great job striking out batters all year, and that hasn't changed today.
He'll face Andrew Check first, who is 0 for 3, a strikeout, a pair of groundouts. Lefty v. lefty the matchup. Still no one up in the Otters pen, so I would assume Griff would work this 8th inning and maybe even the 9th, depending on how they feel. The first pitch here to Check. In there for a ball just on the inner half, 1-0. Hughes looks into the towering left-handed hitter. 1-0 pitch. Front door breaker missed inside near the shoulder area. Count 2-0. So with quite the crowd here tonight, it looks like if the Otters hold on to win this ball game, then everyone here in attendance as the 2-0 pitch is in there for a strike, 2-1. It's a free ticket to tomorrow's contest. So tomorrow at 5:05, we might have a good crowd again.
Tomorrow's dog days of summer.
Bring the doggo out. $2 dogs as well. The 2-1 fouled back 2-2. $2 hot dogs, some actual dogs, some baseball.
Hopefully a back-to-back night with an Otters win.
That would be 4 in a row. But let's not get ahead of ourselves. Otters still trying to win a 3rd. The 2-2. Swung on, banged foul down the first base line, and it's going to stay at 2-2. I always love Sundays. I love dogs. Real dogs, not hot dogs. Not a big hot dog guy. The 2-2 here from Griff Hughes. Checked his swing. Did he go around? He did not. 3-2. Tell you what, third base umpire Kevin Furman, he's all on it. He is all over it on the check swing calls. He is ready to go. The payoff pitch. Swung on high, pop up on the infield towards the right side. Under it, Ray Gill. And he dropped the baseball. It did touch his glove, so we'll see how they score it.
North fielder 6, Wagner.
And it's a shame because he's been such a solid-handed first baseman all year, and first mistake we've really ever seen him make over at first, and an unfortunate outcome there for Griff Hughes, and now he'll have to get Wagner Lagrange, who steps into the right-handed batter's box.
So he will call it an error as the first pitch is in there for a strike. Man. High pop-up, so tough, but I almost expect them to make that play, the 0-1. Swung on, grounded to short. Backhanded sliding play by Camus. To second, not in time. So 2 straight infield singles. Well, an infield single and then an error. So 2 straight runners reach.
33, Jeff LaCory.
Boy, was that close.
And Camus' only play over there was to second. He had to just go there, and it was close. It was bang, bang, and Sheck just barely beats it out.
So now some traffic on the bases as Alex Valdez begins to warm.
This is kind of a relatively new spot. Griff Hughes hasn't worked a ton with people on base. He's done a great job at keeping people off base all year.
First pitch to LaCory. Spins in there for a strike, 0-1. Still nobody away here in this top of the 8th. 6-1 the lead for Evansville. 2 runners on. LaCory the batter. Griff Hughes sets. Looks back to second and fires. Just misses outside. A ball, a strike, nobody out. Infield playing him to pull, and a balk is called. So both runners are going to advance 90 feet on the balk from Griff Hughes.
That is really a devastating unforced error, but at this point you just need to go get an out. Can't really worry about the runners that are on base right now.
Neither of them would tie or take the lead by any stretch of the imagination. 1-1 pitch. Inside, nearly got him. Count. 2-1. Can't hit a 5-run home run. So just got to work against LaCory here, who has walked twice and got hit by a pitch once. The 2-1 to him from Hughes. Swung on, grounded hard to second, bounces off the heel of Cruz. 1 run is in, the runner holds at third. Goodness.
The shortstop,
Hard hit on the ground,
Ethan Wilder.
ricocheted off the foot of J.J. Cruz into foul territory over down the first base line and shallow right. And instead of 1 out and a run scoring, it's now 2 runners on the corners in a 6-2 ball game.
And a defense that has been such shorthanded all night and really most of the season. A couple of errors on them there and just unfortunate, unforced, and now all of a sudden this game got a lot more interesting. We'll have a new pitcher when we come back.
Here on the Otters Digital Network, 96.9 WYIR.
Right now in Vanderburgh County, over 800 children are in the child welfare system waiting for someone to be their voice, and you could be that voice by becoming a court-appointed special advocate, a CASA volunteer. Donating just a few hours a month of your time can change a child's life forever. Vanderburgh County CASA invites you to join them. Stand up, speak out, be for the child, be a CASA. For more information, visit vandcasa.com. That's VAND CASA.com. Ballet Indiana is made up of local ballet professionals, dedicated parents, and community members in order to provide unique and life-enriching experiences for hundreds of young dancers, while carrying out their mission to inspire a lifelong appreciation for dance for both our dancers and the Evansville community. More information on Ballet Indiana and information about their upcoming performances is available at balletindiana.org.
Alex Valdez in to pitch after an interesting way to end Griff Hughes' day. He goes 1+, should have gotten 2 outs, but 2 errors and a hit allowed. Scored a run at 6-2. Thankfully, Hughes is not responsible for that run that did come in. Depending on how the runner at third scores, he could be responsible for that. But, man, just a tough way to end your outing if Griff Hughes. But Evansville still up 4-6-2 as Valdez, the first pitch in to the right-handed hitting Wilder, is in for a strike.
It's a good first pitch there. Get started in the zone. Try to work ahead as much and as quickly as you can.
The 0-1 outside, 1-1. We've seen Valdez be really, really good this year. We've seen other outings where he hasn't reached that potential, but see how he does here against Washington, though. 1-1. Just misses outside, 2-1.
Yeah, a couple of those that are just outside.
Valdez, the right-handed pitcher, looks in and sets out of the stretch. The 2-1. Right down Main, 2-2. Infield double play depth. Outfield shifted slightly to pull. Huge space down the line, the left field line. The 2-2. Outside, 3-2.
Got to go after him here. Really can't load the bases up here. That would bring the tying run to the plate.
The payoff, runner goes. Outside, ball 4, bases loaded.
And obviously not the way you want your high leverage reliever to start off. But right now all you can do is go after the next guy and try to give him your best stuff.
It's Brett Roberts. Never mind, we're having a pinch hitter.
Ladies and gentlemen, here
Pinch hitting for Roberts is Cale Chatham. So we'll see how Chatham does.
And coming off the bench to hit is probably one of the hardest things to do in sports. Being cold all night, to go in there and get ready right away.
First pitch to him misses down and in for a ball, 1-0. Oh, never mind. It was called a strike. Okay, I'll take it, 0-1.
You looked down too quickly.
I did. I always do that. I'm guaranteed for at least 2 of those tonight. The 0-1 pitch. High, 1-1.
Chatham with 9 hits on the year, 4 of them are doubles, 6 RBIs. He struck out 5 times in 33 at-bats.
1-1 pitch. Swung on and foul tipped right back into the mitt, 1-2.
Now you got another batter here at 2 strikes. You got to go after and get him here.
6-2 the score, top 8. Washington with base runners all over the joint. The 1-2 pitch. Swung on and missed, strike 3. He foul tipped it.
Just barely got a piece, and not sure if that hit the ground before Felix even had a chance to catch it or if he just couldn't hold on, but still got him at 1-2 here. Still got a chance to get him.
Valdez looks in. Sets looks back towards second. Out of the stretch, he'll work. Kicks, fires. Up and away, 2-2.
He reared back and threw that one at 93.
Valdez does have velocity, but it seems like whenever he tries to throw in a little too hard, he loses it up and away, arm side. The 2-2. Swung on and missed, strike three. Huge first out for Alex Valdez.
Yeah, now a double play ends the inning. You can still get that fourth play at home if you want. So a lot of different ways you can go.
Jammer Hernandez, 1 for 3, a single, a strikeout, a flyout. Right-handed batter. Infield double play depth. The pitch. Swung on, high fly ball to right, twisting towards the line. Over to it is Schwartz. He makes the catch near the line. Runner tags. And it will score 6-3. Evansville still in front. Both runners advanced. Runner on first stage. So a sac fly for Jammer Hernandez did his job. And it's Jake DeLeo.
And officially that night finishes 2 runs given up for Hughes. Neither of them are earned.
First pitch here to DeLeo. Catches the inner half for a strike, 0-1. No balls, 1 strike, 2 outs. The pitch. Swung on and missed, strike 2. Evansville pitching, trying to pull off another Houdini-like trick. Runners at the corners, tying run at the plate, 6-3 ball game, Evansville in front. The 0-2. Swung on, high fly ball, left center field. Back on it, Taylor, near the track, makes the catch. Evansville somehow continues to do it. We go to the bottom of the 8th. They're up by 3, 6-3. You're on 96.9 WYIR on the Otters Digital Network.
Maintaining our independence becomes more and more vital as we age. Swerka and More can help you navigate this important journey by answering your questions and connecting you to free and unbiased community resources and support services. If you are seeking advice for yourself or a loved one, let Swerka be your first call. More information available at swerka.org or by calling 812-464-7800. Originally opening in 2004, Jacobs Village has been a home for adults with disabilities, giving these great residents a wonderful opportunity to live life just like you and me. Jacobs Village mission is to continue building a safe, walkable neighborhood community where people with disabilities and older adults can find meaningful relationships, affordable and accessible housing, and activities to keep their bodies and minds engaged. We can't wait to have Jacobs Village at the ballpark on July 3rd for our annual Red, White, and Blue Night. More information on this great community partner is available at jacobsvillage.org.
Here in the bottom half of the 8th inning, Evansville in front, 6-3. We have a defensive change at second base.
It'll be Chatham who pinch hit. He just stays in to play second, where Brett Roberts was at.
See how Evansville does here. Zach Kirby back out. Evansville is up by 3, but an insurance run would be 9. No one up and going in the pen, so it would assumedly be Alex Valdez's inning to try and get a 6-out save. Raymond Gill, Justin Felix, Alay Camus. The 3 due up. Kirby looks in and sets. Out of the windup, the first pitch to Gill. Bender misses outside. Count 1 ball, no strikes. skill tonight as the 1-0 pitch comes in. Swung on and missed, 1-1. He is 1 for 3, a single back in the fourth that he eventually came around to score on during that 3-run fourth inning. A tandem of 3-run innings during the beginning of this ball game as the 1-1 pitch had him buckling at the knees but missed. It's 2-1. 3 runs in the third, 3 runs in the fourth for Evansville. They have 9 hits, 2 errors. The 2-1 here from Kirby. Swung on, grounded to third. Caulfield, backhanded play throw to first in time for the out. 1 away. For Washington, they scored 1 in the third and 2 in the eighth. They have 6 hits, no errors.
Number 5, Justin Felix.
So that's how we've got where we're at. Justin Felix stands in. After this first pitch, we got a couple of finals around the league as the offering is taken for a strike on the outer half, 0-1. Tri-City beating Lake Erie 9-2. Lake Erie, man, are they struggling right now. The 0-1 pitch here from Kirby. Swung on, bounced to third. Caulfield fields, throws in time. Florence up on Mississippi in game 2 of their doubleheader, 4-1 in the bottom of the fourth. Quebec beat down East 6-3. They have now won 13 in a row.
What's interesting about that Lake Erie game was Brandon Sittinger. He didn't get the loss. He came in to pitch in relief, a typical starter. Gave up 4 runs in only 2/3 of an inning.
Camus, high fly ball to right, fairly deep. Back on it, LaCory, who makes the catch.
That was a loud one off the bat, but just didn't go nearly as far as he needed to go.
It'll be Alex Valdez to try and close it out. We go to the top of the ninth. Washington down to their final 3. You're listening on 96.9 WYR and the Otters Digital Network.
For the last 5 years, the Evansville African American Museum and the Evansville Otters have partnered together to offer tickets at no cost for the whole family for the Juneteenth Negro Leagues Baseball Tribute. All are invited to celebrate Juneteenth with us on June 19th for the annual Salute to the Negro Leagues game. Pre-game activities start at 4:30 with first pitch scheduled for 5:05. For information on these tickets, fans can stop by the Evansville African American Museum at 579 Sandra Matthews Way in Evansville or any local Evansville-Vanderburgh Public Library. Right now in Vanderburgh County, over 800 children are in the child welfare system waiting for someone to be their voice, and you could be that voice by becoming a court-appointed special advocate, a CASA volunteer. Donating just a few hours a month of your time can change a child's life forever. Vanderburgh County CASA invites you to join them. Stand up, speak out, be for the child, be a CASA. For more information, visit vandcasa.com. That's VAND-CASA.com.
Top of the ninth. Alex Valdez still in the ball game. This is his second inning of work. He will face Tommy Caulfield, Tyreek Reed, Andrew Check. Doesn't get any tougher in this Washington lineup than these 3 that he's about to face.
And really what you want is to get to Check with no one on, especially with not the tying, him being the tying run. That is the last thing you want to see in this inning, because he is a guy that can send any pitch out of this ballpark.
Valdez, the first pitch to Caulfield. In there for a strike, center cut, 0-1. This is Valdez's inning to work. No one up and stirring. Deep breath from Valdez, steps back, kicks and fires. Bullseye, 0-2. 94 miles an hour. Valdez, we've seen him be so good this year. The potential for this guy is through the roof. Was a part of the Arizona Diamondbacks organization for such a long time. The 0-2 pitch. Swung on and missed, strike 3. How about that from Valdez? Second strikeout of his outing. Now Tyreek Reed.
Designated hitter, 31, Tyreek Reed.
Reed 1 for 4. Struck out twice, an RBI single. It's also grounded into a double play. Digs in on the right side. First pitch from Valdez. In there for a strike on the front door, 0-1. Man, Valdez, as soon as Tyreek is stepping in the box, as he does now, looks at him, twirls his bat in the air. Valdez is working, the 0-1. In there, 0-2.
He's going quick, and he's going right at him. You love to see that.
Valdez ready on the bump. Looks into Felix, steps back, kicks, and fires. Outside, 1-2. The 1-2 offering. Swung on, hit the opposite way, and off of the grandstand onto the field. Count stays 1-2.
Just a quick update in that Mississippi-Florence game. Mississippi have scored 4 in the fourth to take a 5-4 lead. Again, that's a 7-inning game, so they're about halfway through that one.
Guess you could say we're Mississippi fans right now.
For the first time this year.
For 1-2 the count to Reed. Evansville 2 outs away. Valdez on the bump. 6-3 the lead for the Otters, top 9. The pitch. Swung on and fought off foul. We'll do it again. That's an overhead foul ball brought to you by Heads Construction. Choose the best and never regret it. The 1-2. Swung on, high fly ball to left. Fairly deep. Back on it, Taylor makes the catch.
And just like that, there are 2 away for Andrew Check, who can't tie this ball game up with one swing.
He's 0 for 4. He reached on an error in the 8th. Evansville looking for win number 11 to get just 2 games back of this Washington team. The first pitch. It's fouled off, 0-1. So the velocity on the fastball is certainly there tonight for Valdez. 93-94 is where he's sitting, the 0-1 pitch. Inside, got him on the shin guard, and that's going to be first base for Andrew Check.
Obviously not what you want there, but all you can do is kind of reset and come get the next guy.
Left fielder 6, Wagner LaGrange.
LaGrange tonight, who steps in, is 2 for 4. 2 singles, a run scored. Check at first, I can't imagine as a stolen base threat, especially with 2 outs in the 9th. First pitch to LaGrange. In there, 0-1.
LaGrange is one of those free swingers, 296 batting average, only a 318 on base percentage, so a guy who doesn't really walk much.
The 0-1. Swung on, chopped right back up the middle, and it's going to sneak through off the glove of J.J. Cruz. On his way to third is Check. Runners at the corners, 2 away.
That one wasn't hit very hard, but it was hit in the perfect spot. Cruz got over to it to make contact on it, but couldn't bring it in. And now as the tying run comes to the plate, got to lock back in and get this guy here.
It'll be a hit, 3rd hit of the night for LaGrange. It's always interesting. First pitch here to LaCory. Inside, gets to the backstop. That's going to allow the runner to get to second.
Yeah, obviously you don't like that, but those two runners at second and third really don't matter. The only runner that matters is at the plate. That's why all you need to do right now is just focus on the guy at home and don't let him get on base.
The 1-0 to LaCory. Checked his swing. Did he go around? He did not. 2-0.
That's a tough one with third base umpire being out in the field and not down the line.
LaCory has reached all 4 times he's been to the plate. He reached on an error an inning ago. Other than that, 2 walks, a hit by pitch. The 2-0. 3-0. Nick McAuliffe up in the pen. LaCory represents the tying run. If he were to reach, Wilder would be the go-ahead run. The pitch. Gets one over. 3 balls, 1 strike. Valdez peers in to Felix. Postures up. Hands belt high. Out of the stretch. The 3-1. In there for strike 2. 3-2.
Just a little bit of hesitation there from the home plate umpire, Jordan Alfonso.
We'll have a payoff pitch. Valdez. Time called.
I can't hear you, Otter fans. Make some noise.
Fans getting into it. Valdez looks in. Time is called as a ball gets away from the Washington bullpen, and we'll have to wait a couple more precious seconds.
Valdez had kind of gotten into a rhythm after those 2 strikes, and then time called by Justin Felix. Maybe they were on the different pages, and that ball gets away from the Wild Things bullpen.
The 3-2. Outside, ball 4. Wilder will come to the plate as the go-ahead run. Bases loaded with 2 outs in the 9th, down by 3, is what Washington faces as Max Peterson comes to the mound.
It really felt like when Valdez was coming from the windup, he had a lot of rhythm. He was looking good. Then all of a sudden goes to the stretch, and the feel for some of those pitches just kind of went away. We'll see if they still want to stick with him here. Obviously, they've trusted his stuff a lot, and they still trust his stuff here.
They'll stick with Valdez. McAuliffe seems to be ready. Wilder tonight, 2 for 3. 2 singles, a walk. It's been a tough out tonight. It's been a tough out all year. The pitch. In there for strike 1.
Yeah, the one thing Valdez has been really good at is not giving up home runs. Hasn't given up a home run during his 2 seasons with the Otters.
Washington has already left 10 runners stranded tonight. The 0-1 pitch. Swung on and missed, 0-2. Valdez trying to strand 11 through 13. 6-3 Evansville, top 9, 0-2, 2 outs, bases juiced. Valdez sets, looks back towards second. Now to third and fires. Just misses low. What a take by Ethan Wilder.
That is a heck of a take there by Wilder to stay alive.
Crowd is into it. The 1-2. Swung on, chopped softly foul. Wilder won't go down without a fight. What a way for this first game between two division rivals to end. Drama here in the top of the ninth. The 1-2. Swung on and missed, strike three. Ball game. A 6-3 Evansville winner. Thanks to a clutch Alex Valdez German-American Bank strikeout. We'll talk about it more when we come back on the Papa John's post-game show. You're listening on 96.9 WIR and the Otters Digital Network.
Ballet Indiana is made up of local ballet professionals, dedicated parents, and community members in order to provide unique and life-enriching experiences for hundreds of young dancers, while carrying out their mission to inspire a lifelong appreciation for dance for both our dancers and the Evansville community. More information on Ballet Indiana and information about their upcoming performances is available at balletindiana.org. Maintaining our independence becomes more and more vital as we age. Swerka and more can help you navigate this important journey by answering your questions and connecting you to free and unbiased community resources and support services. If you are seeking advice for yourself or a loved one, let Swerka be your first call. More information available at swerka.org or by calling 812-464-7800.
Welcome into the Papa John's postgame show. Papa John's is the official sponsor of the Otters pregame and postgame shows, available every game night, 20 minutes before and 10 minutes after each Otters game on the Otters Digital Network, the Home Team Network, and now on 96.9 WYIR. A 6-3 final. Oh boy, what a game it was. Alex Valdez coming in that ninth inning, getting himself into some trouble, but as the Otters did all night tonight, getting out of it somehow.
As you mentioned, 13 runners left on base for the Wild Things. It started with Braden Scott tight-roping his way out of multiple separate innings. Griff Hughes, through no fault of his own, had to try to tight-rope through his. And Valdez, those last couple of innings, did the same thing. Obviously, the first inning came in with those inherited runners, and in the second inning, through a little bit of his own fault, a couple of walks, hit by pitch, but got the job done and overall kept the Otters alive and got the Otters the win.
And Braden Scott with a really good start tonight. He looked phenomenal after, his last couple of starts didn't really go his way, but came out tonight and showed why he is as trusted as he is.
Worked through a lot of traffic, 5 hits, 5 walks, 6 strikeouts, but only gave up 1 run, made the pitches when he needed to make them, went through 6 innings, allowed the Otters to use some big arms out of their bullpen to keep that win and keep that lead that their offense got them.
Keenan Taylor continues his hot streak. He went yard here today, a 2-run bomb in the 3rd inning. Man, it seems like it's either Graham Brown or Keenan Taylor every single night that has a big hit for Evansville.
Continuing to play big roles in these games is obviously really huge. LJ Jones obviously had to leave, but went 2 for 2. Got a hit both times he was at the plate. And Ellis Schwartz just doing a good job getting on base as well, scoring that first run for the Otters all the way back in the 3rd inning, which felt like a long time ago, on a very aggressive base running play, but using that speed, which the Otters have a ton of.
How about Justin Felix' 2-hit day? Went 2 for 3 here tonight with a walk. How about that?
Just doing a great job getting on base, and I will say both those hits, big infield hits. Not a guy you would think to get infield hits, but got both of them by just running out the ball and making them make a play, which the Wild Things just couldn't do.
Alex Valdez, man, just can't say enough about this guy here tonight. 3 strikeouts, and the biggest strikeout for him of this season. You could see it in the emotion he had coming off the mound after that huge win. I mean, it's great for him because beginning of the year he struggled a little bit, but now it seems like he's coming to his own.
Yeah, and in a night where you obviously get a game up on Washington, Lake Erie loses, you get a game up on them, and potentially you could get a game and a half up on Florence if they lose to Mississippi a second time today. So a huge, huge win to push them up in the standings, and it took a lot of work from a lot of different people, but that's the way this team plays their best is whenever top to bottom, everyone's putting in work.
5:05 p.m. Central Time tomorrow night, Dog Days of Summer. $2 hot dogs. Bring your dog to the ballpark. Pack Bosse Field for this series finale and hopefully a series win tomorrow.
Yeah, and if they can go out and get a win, at the very least you're going to split it, so you won't end up with a series loss since it's only a 2-game series. But if you can go out for a win tomorrow, you get a sweep, your first sweep of the season. That would be huge.
Thank you so much for listening to us here tonight, taking time out of your Saturday to listen to some Evansville Otters baseball. Papa John's is the official sponsor of the Otters pregame and postgame shows, available every game night, 20 minutes before and 10 minutes after each Otters game on the Otters Digital Network, the home team network, and now on 96.9 WYIR. Lucas, any final words?
I mean, this team has showed they can beat anybody on any given night, especially when they're playing at home. And if they can start figuring out how to get this kind of same energy on the road, this team can be really dangerous and could 100% be fighting for a playoff spot come August.
Well, with that, for Lucas Macklin, I'm Riley Angel, and as always, have a good night.